Yo, 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 hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to ANDREWCAST. And today's episode is brought to you by Buck2. Let me take a second and tell you about Buck2, what Buck2 is. Buck2 is an American fashion brand inspired by art and urban culture. You see, they blend Afro-inspired art and urban aesthetics to create unique and one-of-a-kind product that you will not find anywhere else in the world. As a brand, they want to see every authentic aspect of you, the customer, within their products. They are striving to create and awaken the culturally elevated through quality clothing that reflects you, again, the customer. Buck2 is really awesome. I had the honor of having Chris, the CEO, on our podcast, and he's a really, really good guy. And his product is really awesome too. I bought some of their merchandise before I had Chris on the show, and I was really happy with it. So, today, what I can do for you, the listener, is I'm going to hook you up real quick. If you go to the Buck2 website and you go to checkout and you put in the code ANDREWCAST39, that's all caps, ANDREWCAST, and then the number 39, you get 10% off your order. 10%. That's what I can do for you, the viewer, 10% off. So, go on over to Buck2.co. All you got to do is Google it, Buktu, to get you some Afro urban clothing. It's awesome. It's stylish. It's highly artistic. Great products. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Buck2. Thank you, ANDREWCAST listeners. And enjoy the show.
Welcome back to the ANDREWCAST. It's episode 46, and it's about that time, podcast time. I have with me Adrian Sullivan, former Temple football player, current football coach, designer and creator of the Villains clothing line, and he's the host and creator of his very own podcast, Sully Vision. Thank you for being on today. I appreciate you being here, man.
Thank you. I'm super happy to be here. I've been so excited to get on the show. Like, I'm literally ecstatic to be here. Thank you for having me.
Dude, no, the excitement is all ours, man.
Yeah, it's awesome that you do your own podcast because I'm excited to talk to you afterwards about ideas.
For sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
What made you want to do it?
I realized that I feel like there was a market of, how do I put this? I wanted it to be kind of short form. A lot of podcasts are kind of conversational. I'm thinking about kind of Joe Rogan as well as yours. It'll go for a couple hours and it just kind of goes on, which is awesome. But I wanted something really short form that people could just tune into for one specific thing. For instance, I started mine out talking about NFL contracts and how people felt about these athletes and if they were getting overpaid. So it's kind of just really making sure it's just split up just so people can digest one thing at one time. And I think there's more than one way to skin a cat, obviously. So.
Yeah, I like the whole topic-based approach because if someone is searching for a topic on YouTube, like NFL pay gap, they see your video and it's just all about it. Whereas if people search for ours, we cover a lot of topics.
Yeah.
So it'll be halfway through when we talk about X or something like that, you know?
We'll clip them down.
Yeah, that's what the clips are for. But you know who has a really good solo podcast? And I know you're not a fan of his comedy, Chris D'Elia. I think he has one of the best
growing
solo
on me.
podcasts.
He's
funny, man.
His so I don't follow. I haven't committed to following him on Instagram yet, but sometimes I find him in the Discover and I look at him and I don't know. He's just a goofy dude.
He is. Man.
My first exposure to him was the roast of Justin Bieber, and I just didn't think he was that funny. So I feel like I just made my my judgment off of that one performance.
You didn't think it was funny because you're a Biebs?
Yeah, he was insulting Biebs, and I couldn't handle it, man.
No one loves Biebs more than Jay. Like, seriously, when we bring him back on, like,
Actually,
Jeremy Joseph wears the Justin
he's a believer
Bieber hoodie. Yeah. What's the one? You know the one I'm talking about? H&M that they sell?
No.
Dude.
I'm wearing H&M right now, and I don't even know.
Bro, he wears this Justin Bieber hoodie everywhere, bro. Like, literally, it's so funny.
It's dedication.
Wow,
right
Yeah,
there.
he just loves it. But yeah, that's cool, man. I like how Sully Vision's just taken off. You only have 2 episodes so far, right?
Yes.
How long are these?
So they're about 5 minutes, like
Okay.
each, like right now. So
That's super cool. Do you know like what the topic is in the next one that you're gonna do?
yes, it's already done. Just kind of have to have like a rollout strategy for it. We talked about kind of a little bit of battle of the sexist stuff that I want to get into. I had a hot take. I felt like women, they like men for kind of what they get from them, whether it'll be like, it could be something like financial or a feeling they get from someone, whereas I feel like men like women because of the things like they kind of can see from her. Like I feel like men are a little bit more superficial when it comes to dating, and we like when
You mean like visually, like
yeah,
if she's attractive, you think that's more important for men than for women?
actually yeah, I do.
Okay.
Like, you'll see like a really hot girl with like an ugly dude, and you'll be like, how did this happen?
Right. I'm telling you.
That's so true. That is so
I'm
true.
telling you.
She'll be like, he has such a good heart, like the intangible things. Like,
Right.
Men
You're like,
also-
but after that, what does he have?
I think men are more insecure than women are too. That's another factor. So like
Ooh,
that,
wow.
I feel like that's
Can you separate that from gender though? I mean, maybe
Probably.
different insecurities.
probably it's different insecurities. But when it comes to vanity, I feel like men are probably more insecure than women are. Cause like, you know, like you said, like if you see a ugly looking dude that you're like, damn, I'm better looking than that schmuck,
Mm-hmm.
and he's got her, and I'm lonely over here, you know. That's a massive insecurity.
In my opinion, and I'm gonna really like break this down, dude. 'Cause
Break it down.
I
Break it down.
like that observation. So like the human being as an animal, right? Women have
Oh,
children.
we're going to the core.
I'm saying like women have children, right?
Let's dive.
So it probably takes so much not to kill this kid, and that's why women
What?
have. I'm serious, because think about it. Like if you had a kid like out in the wild,
Okay.
you have this thing that's crying and screaming and giving away your position all the time.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, this thing is a liability. Like this is not helping me. Obviously, you have to forward your species, right? So you have to make sure this kid grows up and like you nurture it and everything like that. So I feel like women have innately more empathy to deal with the children that they have, whereas men don't have that. So because women have naturally more empathy and more understanding on like a psychological level, they're able to see stuff in men beyond their looks. Like, all right, this guy, he looks like garbage, but he's really smart and his ideas work. You know what I'm saying? Whereas men, we don't have that empathy, so we're just like, yo, like she's hot, and it's just like, but bro, she's a terrible person, and it's just like, but she's hot, you know?
Yeah.
So we don't have that.
And
I
that's
feel
how
like that
A
extra
Quiet
mental
Place
muscle.
was created.
But I mean, do you
The
think that
Quiet Place.
Yeah.
maybe we're more visual? I mean, but do you think that we, men have to be able to grow past that? Just grow past just taking what they see at face value. There has to be something deeper if it's gonna be a deeper relationship.
I do. I think that men start visually and then they work their way.
Okay,
what it
so
is,
it's always
bro.
a start.
I'll
is
agree
what
with
it
that.
is.
I think
That's
it's
what it
just
is.
like,
That's
Okay.
what it is.
you know what I mean? It depends whether it's going from the out in or the in out.
That's what it is, man.
So what happens
He
if
hit
you're
the nail on the
blind?
head right
What if
there.
you're
Exactly.
What if you're a blind dude? Like, what then?
Just using your hands, bro.
That is super exception to rules.
Use
Wait.
your hands, bro.
Use your
You wait,
hands.
you wait for
yeah.
you wait for it to be a torrential downpour, and then you can feel the vibrations. on
wait,
her
sorry, I
face.
can't see. Let me fill you up. I gotta see how
Maybe
this
he just likes
relationship's
her
gonna
smell,
go.
you know what I'm saying? He's like,
He's like,
Is this a chance?
is that chamomile?
yeah.
Is that lavender?
Dog, this has got out of control. But I like that, man. Like, those are definitely topics that people care about, too, and, like, want to hear about. Because I feel like the more opinionated the topic you're talking about is, the more people will listen in. Because they want to hear, like, what stance you'll take. Especially nowadays, like, when you try and express your opinion, people will jump on you all at once. So it's like everyone's curious to hear, like, what you have to say and how you're going to defend it. So I like the fact that you're picking up maybe not a controversial issue, but one with like two opinionated sides to talk about, because that's what brings people in, to be honest.
Stand for what you believe in. If it means losing it all,
Yeah, man. I mean,
Talking about the Nike ad with Kaepernick.
it's fitting.
yeah, I agree with that, dude.
How do you feel about that? I mean, you're a big football guy.
Man, this is loaded. I got
It
some
is.
boys playing the NFL.
I mean, there's
Yeah, for sure. But I think Colin Kaepernick should definitely be in the NFL first and foremost before I say
I would
anything
agree
else.
with that.
think about just like a talent aspect. What are there, like 32 starting quarterbacks in the NFL?
Yeah, I read this crazy stat that he was the only quarterback that was under 25 to beat to beat Tom Brady in their home opener in Gillette Stadium.
Wow.
So, I mean, that's a crazy stat. Who knows all the factors that went into that, but it's definitely interesting.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's
it
above
shows
average.
his talent.
And
He
went
got
to a Super
blackballed,
Bowl.
man.
Like, how many people
What's
can
that?
say they
He
won
got
a Super Bowl?
You say
blackballed.
he got blackballed?
Yeah.
He 100% got blackballed.
I'm just trying. I'm trying to figure out. They say he's not talented, but he has all these stats proving otherwise. I mean, he took over for
I think
Alex
people.
Smith.
I think people are taking a huge blind eye for that 2-year run he had.
He did have
where
a down year or two.
He did. It was after the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
But like
most teams have a down year after.
He
the Super Bowl.
still single-handedly led that team to that Super Bowl against the Ravens when he was running like crazy. He had crazy, like that was just a crazy year because everyone was like, remember, do the Kaepernick when he was flexing and stuff. That became a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then, he did one action that he believed in, and the internet, certain people on the internet said that what he's doing is against what a lot of people believe in when that wasn't the case. And it's like, if you find a different way to protest, what's a correctful way to protest? So then it's like, I don't know. It's like if you don't have a correctful solution, then he's doing what he thinks is necessary and what's best. And it led to him getting blackballed.
I think a really interesting perspective on that is, this is the United States of America, and we fought for freedom of speech, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, a lot of people, I'm just going to decipher the sides here. A lot of people see that as unpatriotic, and then people see that as patriotic because he's actually exercising his freedom of speech. If you did that in another country, you could get shot in the back of the head.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I
Did you hear about that? It's a real quick.
Yeah, but
did you
what
hear
about
that? A journalist in I forget. It was somewhere in the
Saudi
Middle East.
Arabia.
they try
Saudi Arabia,
to
yeah.
say that killing was accidental.
Yeah, of course they're gonna say that.
It's like,
I mean, who
how
would
do
would
you-
no? I killed.
What was
him.
the accidental part? The first chop for the beheading, or the?
I heard they
complete
cut
removal?
off. I heard they cut off his fingers.
just tell the story real quick
Yeah.
for
Oh,
people that
sorry.
aren't listening. I'm just thinking now, if not a lot of people may know about this story yet.
You're right. So there's a journalist from Saudi Arabia that apparently
From the United States in Saudi Arabia.
it was a United States citizen.
The American citizen.
Okay, an American citizen went to Saudi Arabia. I guess said some things about one of the princes, or they didn't like their journalism, and they ended up, quote, apparently cutting his fingers off. Then they beheaded him.
That's crazy, bro.
And somehow that's an accident. So
yeah, I mean,
and
the fingers though.
yeah, it's crazy, right?
Like, if you're gonna kill somebody, just kill him.
Maybe I was just I think they probably wanted to torture him a little bit. That's what it seems like, at least.
Right, but I don't know. There's 1,000 ways to torture people. Why fingers? Is that like some kind of cultural?
Maybe it's like
Send him to
symbolic
his
of
family.
journalism in some way. I don't know. Like
Probably
maybe
pen mightier than a
some-
sword.
Yeah, something
kind
like
of
that.
tripe. I
Like,
don't
you
know.
can't write anymore.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Probably sent it to his
Right.
family too.
Yeah, that I don't know, man. That's crazy.
It's just like
Nasty shit.
for me, reading the article, it just seems so sketchy, and the fact that they're trying to pass it off as an accident, and everyone's kind of just like okay is weird to me. At least in just like how our international policy, how our politicians are handling it. It's strange to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I feel like the way to deal with this is not to negotiate with terrorists and be kind of aggressive. That's how I see it.
Is it terrorism though?
I mean,
it's strange because it seems like it was the prince that made the order.
yeah, I don't know, man. Like, when you're murdering somebody that is just a journalist, I feel like that is not only is it uncalled for, but this person's kind of like a public servant to the world. Like, they're just reporting on what they see.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Why would you kill someone like that if you're not trying to wage war? But yeah, I think it's super messed up.
Yeah,
That's it.
what do you think
Obviously,
about it?
but I don't know why anybody would believe that's an accident. I guess that's what I'm saying. But
Did you know about that?
No, that was definitely just like some update, like
Okay.
an update for me. Wow.
I think it happened 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I think it was like 2 weeks ago or a week ago or something like that.
It happened very recently. I don't know
Yeah.
what the time frame
Wow.
was, but
yeah, I don't know, man.
Condolences for to his family.
yeah, absolutely.
That's sad.
But it's kind of like you can't go in guns blazing over something like that, you know?
Yeah, you have to be careful, I guess. I mean, none of us are politicians, so I have no idea how it really goes from their day to day.
Yeah.
Well, from what I
Yeah.
hear, the reason why nothing has happened yet is because one of my roommates told me that Trump has business in Saudi Arabia.
Well, of course, I don't know.
So-
Like, there's all these reasons
Yeah,
why
it's
It's a
things are
weird
happening,
fine
you know?
line right now.
Mm.
I don't know.
All I know is this: if you're an American and you die in a foreign country, it's a big deal.
Mhm.
Ass-
What if you're somebody else and you die in a foreign country? It's just like, dude, it's not even a
Yeah.
thing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, dude, it's wild.
Sad.
Yeah, it really is sad though. But it's,
Yeah, I guess you got a point because journalists get killed in countries all the
dude,
time.
there's probably 1,000 cases that have happened where like somebody went to China and they just like disappeared. They
Mhm.
just straight up disappeared.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
China regulates their internet.
Oh, dude.
You know, you have to
can't-
have
you
some
can't
kind of
listen to, like-
program in
Can you
order.
listen to music publicly in China? I feel
So,
like that.
so
there's a
I
rule
think it's
that
called
you
a
can't.
VPN.
Mhm.
I forget what it stands for, but
Virtual profile network.
Thank you,
something
Sheldon.
like that.
the
Something like
man. But
I use it
so
for work.
so
All
this
knowing.
so this VPN, it's like it masks your IP. Is that
Yeah.
what it is?
It bounces your IP address so that you can be pretty much anywhere, and it doesn't trace you to where you actually are.
And by using that, you can get onto things that the government blocks.
Really?
By using this IP address, so I guess correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like you're in China, but your IP says you're in Sweden, so you get
Mhm.
access to Sweden's,
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Yo,
basically.
people will always find a way.
Yeah, for
Yeah, of course.
At my work,
The internet's important.
Dude,
at my
seriously.
work, my connection was in Oregon. Then I just bounced it to Virginia or something like that.
At your work, you said?
Yeah.
Why? What was the purpose of you doing that at your job?
Yeah, why
If you
Virginia?
don't mind me
Why not
asking.
Ohio?
No, because the
California.
closer it is to your actual IP address, the faster the connection.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? Does it have to send you all the way over to California if that's your IP address?
Well, so let's say we're in
Through the intranet.
Let's say we're in Philadelphia,
Internet.
right? And then I want to use the IP address that's in Sweden. If I'm trying to download something, upload something, it's going to take a lot of time
But
because you're connecting to servers over there.
Why would you
Okay.
want to do that unless you're doing something illegal?
Well,
Adrian, do you ever
well,
like
it's
steal music? Like,
identity
how do you
thing.
how do you
But,
get
like-
music? How do you get your stuff?
Yo, I used to. So super abridged version. I feel like I was an early adapter as a kid to LimeWire. Like,
Okay,
oh my
yeah.
goodness, they could
Same.
throw me under jail for everything I did on LimeWire.
yeah.
I stole
Well,
everybody's
it's-
music.
you know,
Talk to the right
usually
people.
Not now just iTunes, just like the
Right.
rest of the world.
Usually you paid for LiveWire or LimeWire with viruses.
Yeah, man.
Never
If you
had one.
If you had a PC,
Really?
I never had a
if you had
virus.
if you had a Mac, then probably not.
I had a PC. I don't know. I was
You ever
just
have
I
problems
was
with
super
that?
careful.
I don't. So
I guess not.
my
How old
quick
were you? You're
quick
probably
funny
like
story.
12,
Yeah,
too.
I was probably like 12. My mom dated my mom dated like
Breaking
this,
the law.
guy who was a like Geek Squad. Like do you guys
nice.
remember them from like Best
Of course
Buy?
I remember
Best
them.
Buy.
They're my
Okay.
heroes.
Whoa.
I just made So she dated this
It's a
dude that was
flashback.
awesome on
She dated a Geek Squad member.
Yes, she did.
Was his name
And-
Chuck?
His name was
Borkowski?
Walter.
Wow. Did he?
Bro,
did,
that's a Geek
did
Squad
he-
name.
did he have a pocket protector?
No, he
No,
wasn't super
okay.
geeky. He was actually like just
He was
a
the cool
regular cool
geek.
black dude that just happened to know a lot about like, computers.
Shout out to Walter.
Yeah, and he used to always like fix the computer after I ruined it. And we only had one computer.
Maybe that's why you don't remember these viruses because you just fixed it so quick for you that it just like
no,
didn't
it,
even
wa-
matter.
it was. I was just like this little kid that was like, Walter, fix this. And he fixed it.
So you always had an obsession with music then, because you know that's
Yes.
now like a big part of your interest. Obviously, you find a lot of people that are up and coming, just on your own time. But
Yeah.
like, that started at a young age for you then.
For sure. I think I've been like a digital crate surfer since like beginning, like Napster, LimeWire days. Like I've always like searched for new music and always like interests me like who's gonna be hot in 3 years. Like I feel like more recently, Bryson Tiller when he came out with Don't, it was on the
Yeah.
internet for like a year and a half. And,
Was it really?
I was
2015, 2016.
I was
And then it
showing
blew up a year
everybody
later?
this song and I was like, bro, this guy is like really different. Like he's
heard-
awesome.
I heard a story that he like worked at a gas station and just bought an 808. That's what they're called, 808s, or
Mhm.
something like a music maker,
Yeah.
music mixer, or something
MPD.
like that. And he just started mixing his own stuff while he was working at this gas station, and then
Something like that, or
took
Papa
off.
John's, or
It's
like
crazy,
whatever.
right?
Like, yeah, he
Papa
was
John's.
he was working like randomly.
Can you imagine cooking up pizza and beats at Papa John's?
You think he rapped about Papa John's at all?
I would, man. If you
Yeah.
have a bad job, you got to rap about it.
Have
That's-
to.
That's like the
He
rule.
rebranded though. Quickly talk about him.
Oh,
he
what's
used
he
to,
work for Burger King now?
musically, musically.
I love how much of a hit that was with him.
I thought that was really funny. But he worked. He was See, now I'm about to say work, but no, he rapped first.
Okay.
Like he was like a straight up rapper before like his trap soul style was birthed, I guess you want to say.
Mhm.
And then he rebranded like as like more singer, like because I guess he
R&B.
R&B up. So what Drake was doing, and then that's why he was like, I'm back and I'm better. That was like that whole.
Oh, really? That
mantra.
was the whole thing. I just thought
Yeah.
that was his like hook. I don't know. You know how like all rappers like have the one thing they say all the time.
Yeah.
Like or that one thing
Kiss.
yeah. Exactly. A ludicrous Luda.
That's funny, bro.
The Jada one's iconic, man.
Jada, yeah,
That's
true.
just iconic.
They should.
Everyone knows it. Or
Push you make a skit where it's
Push,
like a
wow.
bunch of rappers in a classroom, and when they take attendance, it's just everybody's sound.
The little
That'd be
ad-lib.
interesting. Man.
Oh,
That'd be a
Wow.
cool idea for a skit. Don't
I was gonna say
you
you might, we have an archive.
quick. All right, we
for
need to
that,
end
but
this episode. We need to get the camera. We need to go to upstairs
I'm
and start that skit.
I'm thinking it's a smart. And I also have another idea for a YouTube video. I'm gonna have I'm gonna print out a picture of every Dragon Ball Z character and see how many my mom can name.
Like, do you think she could name any of them?
They're all gonna be Goku. That's the funny part.
Yeah.
Like,
But
every single one of them.
she does know who Goku is.
No,
Japanese
probably
Superman.
Probably not, dude. Like that's gonna be so great. Somebody did it with Smash Bros.
Yeah.
I
it?
saw that
They
video.
did all
Yeah,
the Smash
yeah.
Bros. characters and try to get their mom to name them. That's the funniest.
She's gonna
thing
see
ever.
Krillin and be like, "Oh, is that like Mario?" You're gonna be like, "What?"
Yeah, just like call him Master Roshi Santa.
Yeah,
Like it's gonna be
something
great. I can't wait to make it. Like it's gonna be awesome.
That's
But
gonna
nah,
be
man, that's
You really
super
gonna
cool.
expose your mom like that?
I think it's funny.
It's
man.
embarrassing when you don't have DBZ knowledge, man.
Just think about how much stuff that you do and that you're into that your mom just has no idea.
Like
what it
everything?
is. Yeah, exactly. Like everything.
Like
Mom, I'm
life.
gonna go see
Yeah.
Venom. Like what? Like don't swallow Venom. Like
And
no,
then
mom, it's a movie.
After the video, she's gonna walk upstairs and be like, "At least he's not selling drugs."
Exactly. Yo,
That
like,
she knows it's up.
nah, man.
Yeah, he's straight. He's straight.
I was big on RuneScape. Like, imagine my mom like looking at RuneScape when I was
Were
a
you-
young buck.
You a grinder?
Never played it.
So my big
that's
thing was I used to like just always like just mine, get like all like the dope ore and just sell it. But I wasn't worried about like my offense, feel me? So I was getting jacked out here.
Right,
I was the plug. I was really the plug.
Nice, bro.
So,
too
like,
nice.
did you have this financial mindset in RuneScape too? Like, did you just mine and like so you could start your business in RuneScape of selling?
Yeah, I guess
This
there is
stuff.
some carryover from like what I actually do now to let the people know. I work at Northwestern Mutual as a financial planner, you know. So yeah, I guess you could say my days of, you know, financial literacy came from figure like supply and demand, you know,
Yeah,
from
yeah,
early
yeah.
age.
Makes
Hear that RuneScape? Changed lives.
Are they up anymore? Is that
Yeah,
service
they're
still
They
going?
have to
Really?
be.
Yeah, there's
There's
I
like
gotta get on there.
You can buy like a subscription. I don't know why I know, but you can like buy a subscription, like almost like Xbox Live points. You know,
Yeah.
you can get them at the store with a card. Like they have that for RuneScape now,
That's crazy, man.
and like all
Fool's
the
Gold
other
23.
freemium stuff.
That was me.
Fool's Gold 23.
Fool's Gold 23.
That's a sick
If
name,
any of you
bro.
guys still play RuneScape, I might go in there one day.
Was
Holla
that
at
me?
me.
Is that like your Xbox Live account name too? or
No,
PS4?
my Xbox Live is Sully Vision 36.
That's
now.
pretty dope.
Yo.
Sully
It's a good
Vision.
name.
So you go by Sully. Is that like a
Yeah, so I have so many nicknames. Like I'm Adrian Sullivan Jr. That's like my whole title.
Okay.
Some people call
It's
me
official.
like Adrian when you just like first meet me. I'll be like, oh hey, I'm Adrian or whatever. But people from like the crib, like back home in New York, they call me like AJ for like Adrian Jr.
That's cool.
Like so everybody pretty much like if you know me for a minute, you probably call me AJ.
Yeah.
And
okay.
then from football, it's like kind of like almost militant, where there's so many people that usually have like one name, like a first name. Like you might have like 4 Nates or 4 Johns on the team that people usually call people by their last names, just like in the military. So people call me like Sully.
They do that a lot in
Sully.
sports too. Like,
Yeah,
just in
that is
general.
true. Yeah,
Like any sport, like I've always been called by my last name.
that is true. Now I think about it. Yeah, any
yeah, maybe
any
it's-
type of like fraternity type of thing.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
that's a better way to put it.
Definitely.
It's a great way to put it.
What was the best part about playing Temple football? Like, what was the part that like you're always gonna remember forever?
Relationships, man.
Yeah,
Like
just the team.
You still
Like
talk to the
my
guys on the
boys.
team?
I have a group chat like with
Tyler
my boys.
Matakevich, you talk to him?
Every now and then, like Ty's like a little bit like he was like outside of like my core friend group.
Okay.
But that's my boy. He actually like so when I showed him like the Sully Vision clothes, like when I had my website up, it's not up right now. We're like in the process of getting everything. Like,
Okay, you're
kinda
revamping it. Yeah.
revamping it because we have to make it better for the people.
Of course,
put some money
of
into
course.
it. He was like, I'll like put money into this. I'll like look out. Like I want to buy a shirt. Like he was definitely
Damn,
showing.
that's
like-
loyal.
yeah, Ty is awesome. He was showing a lot of love for that.
Word. There's two. There's like Ionitis is on the Redskins, right? That's his
Mhm.
name,
Yeah.
Ionitis, and there's another guy.
So 2 out of my 4 roommates like are in the NFL right now.
Really?
Yeah. So like
Do
all,
tell.
So Sharif Finch, he actually was just playing in London before. Shout out my boy Reef.
That's wild. You get time.
Yeah. He got a sack on Carson Wentz actually when they played like
Oh, like I want
they-
to say congrats, but like
I know it was
Yeah.
like it was crazy.
I think I saw you post something about that.
Yeah,
You're
if
just
you,
like,
look at
sorry,
my-
Carson, but I got back my boy.
Yeah, I know, like I love this city, obviously, but
Sack.
you know what I mean. That's the squad, and my other boy Julian plays on the 49ers out in San Francisco. So that's room 321, doing big things.
That's awesome.
There
Man.
you go.
Room 321. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
that's like our. It almost sounds like we could like have like a corny like band name.
So you,
Nah, man, that's cool.
Room 321, but yeah, that's the squad right there.
you got this group chat. Are you talking to them? When's the last time you seen them?
So I saw the one that it's me, Buddy, Sharif, and Julian. My boy Buddy, he actually came up because it was homecoming, Temple's homecoming. I saw him last night. It's always good. Julian, man, I haven't seen him in a minute. Since he pretty much like went out to Cali, but Sharif, I saw him right before he went to. Like the NFL season is hard, like keeping up with like all your boys and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, being a professional athlete in general just seems insane. I watched this video on YouTube, just like a random one you find in those rabbit holes we talk about so often, of like this dude wanted to see if he could train like an NFL athlete, so he tried to do it for a week, and like after like 3 days, he's just like, I can't do this. Like,
Yeah,
this is
no, if you're
awful.
not,
And he's a
trained
pretty
for
big
it,
dude. It's pretty.
It's different
you know,
though. It's like
it's mental.
you have to recruit like different muscle fibers too. Like a lot of these guys that you see like do like the powerlifting and stuff, it's all like strength. Football is like a lot of twitched up dudes.
Fast
like,
twitch.
Yeah, super fast
All
twitch,
fast
like muscle
twitch, yeah.
fibers.
Explosive power.
Yeah, people don't do like a lot of people that go to the gym. Like you're not gonna see the guy that benches 400 pounds in like your regular gym doing plyometrics.
Yeah,
making sure
yeah.
his jump ropes are right.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
more times than not, he's just a meathead.
I
He's
didn't even
not.
think
like,
about that. Yeah.
you know. What I mean?
You,
So
you
it's
know what?
different.
It's
You gotta
it
train
blows.
like Rocky, man.
What's up?
You gotta train like Rocky.
Like,
essentially.
hey, yo, Adrian.
Yeah, just like, but seriously,
I get that all the time, bro. Actually, like the Adrian thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
you're
do
from
some-
Philly. What do you want?
Well, I'm from New York.
I'm sorry,
in
I'm
Philly.
sorry.
I'm in
Yeah,
Philly.
yeah.
Disrespect.
I'm in Philly. No,
My
I don't
bad.
feel disrespected. New York and Philly has like a really like I don't know, like we vibe with each other.
were people calling you that before you saw the movie? Because that would be annoying.
I'm trying to. When I was younger, yeah. I remember.
What are you
So I'm really well versed. I do for everything, man. I was in orchestra. I played the cello. Like
I was gonna ask you if you played music because you have such a heart for it. Like,
yeah. So I come from like a really musical like family. Like my grandma's actually like the person that taught me like about rap.
that's
Like
crazy.
she would like always be like rhyming. Like she'd be like,
Show you Lil Wayne.
She,
She's listening to the Carter
she
too.
like, and these are the breaks.
Bro, your grandma was rhyming.
yeah, my grandma would. My grandma.
Part I can't.
That's
do.
crazy. Yeah, my grandma.
Did
taught
she
me,
ever
like,
roast you?
No,
Not
I
in front
wasn't.
of the family, you know.
Took him
Like,
to
She
the
never
battles.
battle rap me, thank God. But no, she would just like it was more like Dr. Seuss, pretty much, put it like that. Like she taught me like the little like rhymes and like I'm big on like slant rhymes and like different
Okay.
ways to like coordinate words.
so can you talk about a slant rhyme?
So one of like the famous breakdowns I like is like when Eminem says he hates when people say that you can't rhyme anything with orange. And off the Eminem show, the song Business, he like rhymes orange with door hinge and syringes, like, but the way he like puts it is
What he
just like,
pronounces it.
With the
yeah,
accent.
he just changes like the way the word is formed. He's like, there's a science to it. So that's
Yeah,
pretty much
definitely.
slant rhymes. Man, I
just
feel like that
says
could go
it
in Genius right there.
Yeah, are you an annotator?
I'm an annotator. I definitely think I consider myself a hip hop scholar, like
Really?
for sure.
Okay.
Right.
So what's a important hip hop fact that not many people know?
Important hip hop fact
Not
that
to
not
really
many
put you on the
people
spot,
know.
but-
I'm trying to, man.
I'm just interested, man.
Brian, so you call yourself a hip hop scholar?
no,
Tell me something
yeah.
I don't know.
That's like when LeBron called
Um,
himself a hip hop historian. The internet came for him.
So
don't know,
I'm
man.
gonna go like where I'm from. People don't like. I'll give you like a little bit of it. People don't realize how like integral Long Island is to hip hop.
Yeah.
Like people don't realize that Public Enemy is from Long Island. People don't realize like Rakim like literally like lived like right around the corner from like where I grew up.
So
Like,
Wow.
So
Are you
like,
serious?
I'm dead serious. Like
That's crazy.
so.
Yeah, when I
and
think of
even though-
Staten Island, I think of like
was Eric B from Long Island too?
I think he might have been. I'm not
Okay.
super sure, but I know like a lot. And De La Soul is from Long Island.
That's one of that's my top
Bismarcky.
It's just me,
like,
myself, and I.
Yeah.
top
So
three, man, is De La Soul.
I'm
They
not.
came out with a new album actually.
Yeah.
not too long ago.
I don't know them very well, but I saw them. I saw their new album like on Spotify, dude.
If you want funny, thought-provoking hip-hop, that's what it is. Comedy was a big focus of their earlier stuff, but then Stakes is High is just brilliant, dude. Stakes is High is just
What's
a
so brilliant
sick
about it?
album. It's just like just straight raw hip hop, man. Lyrical, the beats are sick. It has a
Boom bap.
crazy message. Like it's a good album.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
boom bap
at
is
its
definitely
finest,
dope.
at its finest.
Logic brought some of that back.
Oh
too,
my god,
to
dude! Like I
kinda
could go
jump into
on
the
about
current.
that album. I could go. You're not a fan. I love Young.
I can
Dude, I'm
understand
telling
why
you.
you're not a fan. Can you just give us a
All right,
brief version
yeah,
why you're not a
let's-
fan real quick?
He panders too much.
Panders. What do you mean?
What album? It was on Everybody. The song, with the most def song, most definitely, whatever you called it.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is like, we get your struggle going up. We've heard it on 3 full albums and 4 something mixtapes. I want to hear some different type of substance. So, on Everybody and also on Bobby Tarantino 2, and as well as this new one that just came out,
Young Sinatra.
Young Sinatra 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He talks so much, in my opinion, like he just panders. He's like, love, like black people, white people. Like,
Oh,
black
you're
people, white
saying
people.
you're
And it's
like
just
his message. He's just like hitting it home too hard. Is that what you're saying?
I'm just like, dude, it's like I get like you want to make your music for a general audience, a broad appeal, like because that obviously revenues like sales, but like your core was like just the boom bap. It was raw emotion that you felt. I'm tired. I'm like kind of tired of him rapping from the perspective of other people. Like he does it a lot.
Like what?
Like
You're
on everybody he was rapping from different perspectives throughout the album, and it's like it got old a little bit to me because there was a lot of I think it was like 18 songs.
So I mean, I'm thinking of Under Pressure.
Great
that
album.
song.
Phenomenal
I'm thinking
album.
of, but like you're talking about different perspectives. I'm thinking of Under Pressure when he
like
takes
gang related.
no the song Under Pressure. I'm
That's
thinking
one of the
that
better
song.
songs in hip hop
my
ever.
favorite.
Actually,
That's one.
Like,
That's my favorite
no
song
lie.
on that
Wow,
album.
hot take.
But
Super hot take. Can I talk about that for 1 second?
Yeah, go
yeah,
for it.
sure.
When
sure.
you think about like as far as like hip hop, the elements of it, obviously like samples, like the Eazy-E sample on that one is crazy. Literally like 9 minutes of just rapping, and like it goes into like that crazy key change.
Yeah.
And then he just raps over kind of like the piano style, like, and really does his whole family's diary from their perspective. I think you have to look at that as like, as far as storytelling, up there with like Stan and some of like
Which
the
song are we
Nas
talking
songs.
about?
Under Pressure.
We're still talking about
Yeah,
that.
the 9 minute track, like crazy,
I'll
absolutely crazy.
combat that song with "Devil in a New Dress," Kanye West and Rick Ross.
Oh yeah, no, I'm
That's a
not
great
saying
song,
it's
too.
not up there too.
Like, the Under Pressure, like even just that album Under Pressure, that I love that album.
But real quick, I'm asking, are you don't like that? So like in Under Pressure, he takes the perspective of his sister. You know, that's what you don't like.
Different. No, I like that.
Okay.
That's because that hits home to him.
Yeah.
I just don't like when he panders.
like the 1-800-suicide like line.
kind
You didn't like that?
the song. I love the message of the song, but like, I was getting tired of that song and the other songs that were inspired from that song because you could hear it on everybody.
Yeah.
Do you feel
So
like when it's
I-
more general, you don't like it? Like he'll just be like, you don't know how it feels to be like a gay kid, and he'll talk like what it's like to
Oh
be
no!
like a
With
gay
who
kid
did
in
that?
America.
Who did it? Macklemore did that
Macklemore
bullshit,
did
and I
that.
fucking hated that
Yeah,
song.
I
It was
hate-
so
I hated
annoying.
it.
I get what you're saying now because that
here's the
shit
thing.
pissed me
Because here's the
so
thing. I don't
off.
want to hear a straight dude rap from the perspective of a gay guy. I rather
Because you
just
don't know
listen-
what it's like.
I rather just listen to Brockhampton and listen to their stories of what it's like.
Wow, yeah.
Brockhampton
some of
gay?
Well, there's 45 of them. There's 45 in Brockhampton.
Are there really?
Yeah, it's.
I
a
thought
supergroup.
Brockhampton was one dude.
No, it's a supergroup. The main,
Whoa,
the
that's
main
incredible.
guy from Brockhampton is a black gay guy.
What's his name?
I forget his
'Cause,
name.
Dude, I've heard songs by him.
Wow,
and it was
45
pretty
people.
good.
It's a lot of people
That's
in Brockhampton.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's why I don't know who's ever rapping, but I know the main guy because his voice is very distinctive.
Can you imagine having 45 people work on one song?
Well,
That'd
the
be
thing
really
is, the
sad.
That's
Brockhampton,
Wu-Tang. There's a lot of people in
that's
Wu-Tang
Wu-Tang.
too.
With Brockhampton, they started off from a rap website. They were like a forum, and they were all just chat on there and stuff, and they would send songs. They're like, let's just make a super group, and they're very like Wu-Tang-esque. But
So how?
I
Why
wa- I don't
Brockhampton?
think
Why
Wu-Tang
did they
would
name
like
themselves that?
I don't.
Is that where they're
They
from?
could be the
I
culturally
don't know what
diverse.
the name of
Right.
Brockhampton
Wu-Tang.
means.
I'm sorry, Wu-Tang,
But-
if you're watching
Yeah,
this.
I don't think anything
Yeah.
compares to Wu-Tang. I know what you're
I
saying.
love that song.
You're
when
saying
Logic's
numbers
album,
wise.
Wu-Tang forever.
You're
I
saying
love that
Wu-Tang
numbers-wise.
Forever is dope.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, everybody, man. Even Macklemore is like acknowledging Wu-Tang and
It's-
stuff. You know?
Yeah, but it's just like pandering because there's a lot of pandering in rap music nowadays.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I mean that's why I don't mean to sound the way I do, but I like Big L, I like Tribe
Yeah.
Called Quest, like that's the kind of stuff I always listen to, and I like to listen to stuff that's like really honest, like
Yeah.
Big L, Lifestyle of the Poe and Dangerous. I talked about that song so much, man, where he's
Yeah.
just talking about like how he robs people, Like that's it. There was no moral like anything. Like he's just like
There's no lesson to be learned.
He's like, a brother snuck into my house and I robbed him.
Yeah.
Like he robbed some guy.
See,
that was
I
trying to
like
rob
that
me.
gritty shit.
I love, yeah,
So,
that,
me and you,
I
we
like that
I
too.
like that gritty shit.
Wu-Tang
I like
fans like that too.
like Dave East. Dave East gets
Yeah.
gritty.
Oh
I like
yeah,
that gritty rap.
dude, I love
Oh,
his
man, he's dope.
I don't know. Hopefully you guys can help me out. What's the song with Wiz Khalifa that he has?
Phone jumping.
Yes.
Adrian, man.
Dude, he is a
But
scholar.
phone jumping is definitely dope.
But
I-
That song.
I think my issue. This is gonna sound wild, but I think my issue with Logic started. I think it was definitely the most definite song where he was like, and he was like in a cheery way. He's like, "Black people are beautiful, incredible, amazing." And I'm listening to, I'm like, "Yo, what's this whack shit that I'm hearing right now?" I was like, "What the fuck is
Oh,
this?" Like,
man.
But like,
Sheldon-
doesn't
I'm sorry,
Kendrick do that kind of
Sheldon
stuff
just
too?
stopped.
No, 'cause
Kendrick and J. Cole do the same shit.
Kendrick doesn't do it.
Sheldon just stomped on his good intentions.
I guess
Yo,
it's
because
not
I'm
as
like,
upfront
I'm
as
like,
that.
bro, what the hell is this?
I'm with
No,
you,
but
man.
Kendrick's different.
Like Pharrell do that
because-
shit too.
No, Kendrick. No, sorry. Pharrell did a song saying he's happy, and I was like, and I don't take Pharrell for a lyrical miracle guy like Logic.
Okay.
Like Logic can cram
I
a
wouldn't
lot
even
of words.
consider
and
that a
shit.
hip hop song.
What song?
Because
Happy.
I'm happy. It's
Yeah.
not a hip hop song.
But
Oh,
like
that's-
Kendrick's song, "I Love Myself," that song is like just him talking about where he came from, how he made it out of it, so he can love himself this way. So I can appreciate that. But like
It's a
that,
little bit of a personal preference. Like
Yeah.
I'm not knocking it. Like
yeah,
you just
but
kind
it's
of
just,
like
but it's just
own
like
perspective.
just that Logic. I don't know what it was, but when I heard
Rubbed you
it,
the wrong way, huh?
Yeah.
dude, and I heard it
definitely.
because like
A little too Mr. Rogers for you.
a little too much.
See, I'm with
It
you
was
on that.
very.
I can
like
understand that.
Disney.
He's
Yeah.
I feel like Logic is the type of person, just from watching his interviews and listening to his music, he's very positive, which is
Yeah.
incredible given like what he talks about, like having
Yeah.
his mom that did all these drugs, his
Yeah.
dad wasn't really there, his sister also was on drugs and
Yeah.
had all these issues, and all the while he has to deal with all that while trying to start a
And
career.
that's what I want to hear. I want to hear that because his song "Paradise." I love that
But
song.
I'm saying-
Paradise.
Yeah.
but
That
like
song's great.
he's so up there that like either you buy it or you don't, and like sometimes he'll play shit, and like the only people that can get away with it is if you convince everyone that you really like that, like you really
Yeah.
believe everything you're saying, and it's not just for attention. Like you
That's
know,
what I'm
like the
saying.
Suicide song, like some people could say that he just did that for attention.
He could.
I don't think that because
don't
I
think
think
so
he's
either.
just like.
He genuinely.
He's a super
was
positive dude. I don't know. I'm biased though because I've been listening to the Logic since like
But then-
2011.
But then he
and-
does it. He does that song with Marshmello about Oh man, I don't want.
That's one of the few working hard. Like
Yeah, that's about.
oh
But
my
everyone
God.
has a
about
throwaway
the,
song.
about
you know?
the children. I didn't really listen to it. I heard snippets of it. I heard it on the radio.
Yeah.
But it's like the children. It's against Trump. It's a song against Trump, I think.
Oh, is it?
And I think it's about the children that were taken away from the.
Oh,
parents
the
or something like
immigrants.
that.
Yeah. Well, he
Oh,
has
yeah.
a very hard stance on that.
And I'm 100% with him.
His
but, like,
ex-wife
just in
was,
song.
Yeah,
Mexican. So,
Whatever happened with?
Oh, that gets me heated too.
Wait,
Whatever
you
happened
right.
with
His wife was Mexican?
She is Mexican.
Yeah.
He-
But like
Yeah.
Jessica and
he does all these songs talking about marriage. Can't wait to be married. Blah blah this. Blah blah that. Name drops her in so many songs.
That hurt as a fan because
Yeah.
I am a Logic
I
fan.
know because it made me seem. I was like, yo, you look real fishy right now. I was like, you look real
Because
fishy.
Well,
he
his
said he
stories are
wasn't
true.
happy with her. Like,
What are the stories?
I was like excited, like
Because
from
he
a
started
fan.
smoking. He said he wanted to party and he felt like
Yeah.
got married too young. I'm like, I'm looking at you real funny right now.
But it's
But,
alright.
like,
He's entitled to change.
he
We
is,
all-
yeah, yeah.
It's just
He
like
is.
we look at him with like
But when it
under a
comes to-
microscope.
But when it comes to like exactly, but
How
when it
old
comes to
was he-
selling
how old
stuff,
was he when he got married?
25,
And
26.
was that before he blew up?
No, it's
No.
like
No,
no.
he was in it.
I
He
feel
in
like that
it.
was
He's
almost
not
like the
where he-
height
But
of
that
his
marriage
career,
and
if
that
anything.
relationship is how he sells himself, just like how he with his biracial. You know what I'm saying? So,
But like that
he wears
biracialism
it
is like
on
who
his
he.
sleeve.
But
Bro,
biracialism is who he
Yeah.
is. Like
It
You
is.
don't
no one's
know
gonna let him
anything about
forget
Logic? He's
that.
black and white?
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah,
know. That's why
he
he's
is.
white.
I think that's why he drives it home so
That's
much.
why
'cause
Joe Budden says everyone's favorite white rapper, Logic, which I think is hilarious.
But you know,
Eminem
like
is everyone's
we
favorite
we
white
say
rapper.
we say like he's like showboating that he's biracial, but like no one lets him forget it.
No,
so,
no,
like, he has
not
to.
not that part. What I'm saying, he wears it on his sleeve, just like he was wearing. Excuse me. He was wearing his marriage on the sleeve, and then you put her. He has a song with her. He puts her on so many songs, name drops her, especially on Bobby Tarantino, and then Bobby Tarantino 2 comes out, and it's just like, it's like, bro, what's going on right now?
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea. Like, maybe there are rumors of what happened. I haven't heard anything. I read that statement he put on Instagram, being like, you know, we're still friends. I still wish her
Yeah.
the best. And I don't know, dude. Sometimes
I heard it was messy.
It was
I
what?
could b-
It was
I could
messy. It
believe
could
it was a messy
probably,
situation.
probably. I mean, you never know exactly what happened just from an
course
Instagram
not.
post. You know,
I
it's
met
just,
Logic before, actually.
Wow.
Not to cut you off, and he
no,
was
no,
so,
that's a good cutoff.
Yeah, just yeah.
Sick, dude.
And I was at like a sold out show 2012 in New York City at SOBs, the famous SOBs.
Thanks, you were in high school.
What is that?
Yeah,
SOBs?
this was like,
I don't know
ooh,
what
SOBs
stands
is
Tell me about it.
super famous. Like
It's a venue?
it's a venue, Brazilian bar.
Huge. for. It's massive.
Yeah, like it's like one like you have to do SOBs before you do like Madison Square Garden. That's how I feel.
Wow.
Oh, that's okay.
Like I don't know, I feel like for
City
me being
won't
from New
respect
York,
you.
it's just.
Uh-huh.
The city won't respect
Yeah,
you unless
like-
you go through SOB.
That's, that's
I remember
interesting.
when they had like Webster Hall, that was big too. But nah, so I met him and he actually like signed my hat. He was like one of the dopest people I met. So like to kind of go off your point, I just don't want him to do things as a prop. Like I can't even almost believe it. Maybe it's like naive for me being a fan.
Yeah.
I just don't.
I don't want him to use his like biracialness or his like ex-wife that was Mexican or different things about him as a prop. I don't think he would,
That's
but
what
that's
I'm
how
saying.
it comes
Yeah,
off.
that's where it comes
Like,
off.
But like you're starting
Is
to
it
wonder,
really
like
him?
you're curious if it's all prop. Is that what you're saying?
Not,
Like,
I,
as a fan,
I
you don't-
believe it because I met him. Like
Yeah,
I felt like
yeah, of course.
he
yeah.
could be like this persona that like I didn't know about. But
Yeah.
Well, everyone
I
has a
felt like-
side that they don't show. you
yeah,
know?
for sure.
But like I don't think we should be mad at him because his marriage failed. You know, like
No, no,
these
it's
things.
not that.
I don't think Sheldon's mad.
No,
I
no,
think
I'm
he's
not
talking about
mad.
as, like,
It's just like, so like my favorite type of style of music. It's really funny. Is like just like dark, gritty, depressing type music. Like favorite artist is The Weeknd.
Oh, the weekend. Yeah.
Yeah. So like if
It's
that's enough.
heartbreak music, man.
Yeah, you know how R&B is my favorite type of music. Rap's second, but they're like up in the echelons. Like Kendrick Lamar is my favorite rapper. So like that storytelling,
Mhm.
that like when I hear it, and then I can just sit and I can see it.
Mm-hmm.
And like Logic was doing that for me up until the Incredible True Story. I love that album. I think that album's like one of my favorite rap albums. But after that,
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. But like he just like, I don't know if he like lost his way, but he just started pandering. And I just don't like when people pander.
I feel like that comes with popularity too. But
Probably.
a lot of rappers have the gall to say no to it. Like
Yeah.
Nas is one of those people. You
And
know
look
what
where
I'm
his career is. So.
saying? Yeah, exactly. So he's not like in Nike commercials or anything
Yeah.
like that. But he makes dope stuff and people still respect him, right?
Yeah.
And then you have someone like Jay-Z who's just too legendary. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like too legendary.
But he's never pandered.
That's the thing. But like
Yeah.
because of his wife and because of his business and because of who he is, like he sells himself, not
Yeah.
just his music.
Yeah.
You know? He doesn't have to bow down to anybody. He doesn't have to pander.
Yeah.
But if you're someone like Macklemore, and I don't want to compare Macklemore to Logic because obviously Logic is infinitely better.
They're
But,
very
like,
different. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's the same like situation that they're in where it's just like they have to try and ride out this mass appeal if they
Yeah.
want to get what they want to get, quote unquote.
I mean, as a fan, I really enjoyed the new album. It was interesting. I arguably he's at the height right now. This album was.
Would you put him in your top 5?
Yes, I would.
Interesting.
You put Logic
time?
in your top 5.
I would. Yeah, I like him a lot. I don't know. It's like
I love
he's just
Logic,
smooth,
too.
man. I like smooth rappers. Like when Jay-Z was on Reasonable Doubt, Politics as Usual, that kind of style of rapping. I think Logic does that very well. He just, he's smooth and he's cool to listen to, and like his whole persona of like the young Sinatra, the Rat Pack, like just giving it that Frank Sinatra feel.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know, it just caught me.
Real quick, one of the reasons I don't have Logic. Logic's one of my favorite artists. Like my personal favorite artist. One of the reasons I think he can't be like in the top 5 like overall is because the same way that like Bobby like that whole Bobby Tarantino thing he has going on, like, and how he loves like Tarantino. He makes his music like the same way. He like takes different elements from like different things, and there's not a lot of nuance to like what he does. He just does it at a high level.
But wouldn't you argue that hip hop is kind of like that in general, where it's like a scrapbook of different things?
I would as far as like sampling, but also I feel like you have to bring nuance to it too and be like the dopest at something. Like to me, why I have Kendrick above Logic as far as like what he can do overall is because it's like there's obviously been rappers who can rap great at double time, who have like great like inflections and can come up with like catchy songs. But to me, Kendrick, like especially in like the early days with like Section 80, did a lot of things like that we never saw before. Like I feel like we never saw like jazz infused exactly
Rigor
the way.
Mortis, you talking about?
Yeah, like Rigor
Yeah, that's a
Mortis,
great
like
song.
exactly the way he did it.
Yeah,
That
that was a
whole
very
album.
interesting track.
Like, and even like if you think about like to Pimp a Butterfly,
Nice.
Like as far as
One of the
like
best rap albums.
one
like
of
ever.
the,
Yeah.
right. That's
Mama's my favorite.
we've
on that.
never seen like an artist put together something like that.
Or act like he's crying on a song and drunk. I think that was on the song "You."
Yeah.
On To Pimp a Butterfly. That's like that song's crazy.
And yet, he has so many like dope songs. Like it's
It's a
just,
lot.
it's his catalog is crazy. And you know what it is? Like it's the same thing how people say like Kobe can't be like considered one of the greats because he just copied Jordan. I feel like Logic, like copied like a lot of like the famous MCs, even though what he
Is it
does
not-
is
But
great.
how does anyone
There's
become
not a lot
great?
of nuance.
You can
How
hear
does
it.
anyone become great
not
at
original
then
enough.
to, I guess, look at someone else's work and like grow their own work based off of that? Like you don't end up the same artist. You don't end up the same professional. You don't end up the same whatever it is you're striving to be. But you have to have some kind of blueprint to work off of.
Yeah, but his problem, I think, when you listen to a Logic album, people will be like, "Oh, I hear Joey Badass. Oh, I hear Lil Wayne. Like
Yeah.
I hear Kendrick. I hear J. Cole." Whereas when you listen to like a J. Cole or Kendrick album, you're like,
That's
"This
J.
sounds
Cole."
like it sounds like an original piece."
Yeah,
Like,
I think the most iconic example of that, and no shade to Action Bronson, is like Action Bronson and Ghostface
Yeah.
Killer. Like it's so similar. You know what I'm
Very.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
and they get mistaken all the
Inflections,
time.
everything.
Yeah, and it actually caused some tension between them too.
even the
Really?
voice, like
Yeah.
Action's
Like they're biting each other.
No, like
Bronson's voice, like when he raps, when he says words, it
Yeah.
sounds like Ghost.
Ghostface Killer,
He'll be
man.
like, "Oh, I'm the killer."
Yeah, and he even admitted
Rapping
he's
from
like,
the minute, like
he-
just
he
how he
said-
just raps.
he was like, he was a huge inspiration of mine, and he said something on ESPN about how like he like really admired Ghostface, and then
What was Action Bronson doing on ESPN?
gee, I have no idea. It was just like one of those things like where they bring Andrew WK on to tell the weather. Like they just bring like a celebrity on, and he said something about like, I really admire like Ghost, but we sound like different. And then Ghost heard like just the tail end of what he was saying and just made this like horrible YouTube video where he just like ripped him a new one. It was crazy, man. But I know what you're saying. And I feel like I know what you're saying too. It's okay to shadow somebody that you admire coming up because you're trying to get your feet in the ground of hip hop or what you're doing.
But once
But
you're
there comes a
there-
time you need to spread your wings.
Yeah,
And if you
no.
don't, then you become someone who bites, and that's like the ultimate disrespect.
Yeah.
So you just gotta do that. But yeah, your point I think is he's not original enough. Logic isn't original.
Yeah,
enough to
no,
at least
I
be in
don't,
the
and I
top
don't think
5.
he's like a biter at all. I think he like raps the same way that Tarantino makes movies. He
Yeah.
just takes different concepts and puts his own spin on it. But to me, like I like people who like don't just put like rims on the wheel. They actually like make something new on the wheel.
Yeah.
Like
You
they
like the
actually do-
innovators, you know?
Yeah, I like the
people
innovators.
that create something new and contribute like a different style.
Yeah, like you have to bring something new. Like as crazy as it sounds, like I'll have like a future, like as far as musically, maybe above like someone like Logic because I feel like he's made it so many different soundscapes.
Yeah.
Even
I
like
got
a
you.
Young Thug, where they're
Future-
not even close to. as
Future makes
lyrical.
me laugh though, because like I remember there's one video, I don't even know where I saw it, but there's one video where he's talking about his process and like he's like making a beat and he just like I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying, but it sounds good. Like he just released it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like stuff like that. I mean, and that's another nature of hip hop is like just impromptu, like stuff that's kind of ad libbed. It's a big part of that genre. I'd say somewhere in my top 5, Earl Sweatshirt would be there.
Yeah, dude, he's good.
I had to drop him out.
What was his second album?
Yeah, to what?
I dropped him out of the top 10 just because I need more. I can't have these one albums every
No,
5 years.
I know what you're saying. There's not enough to be
Yeah.
like a super mega fan, but I'd say that like at least his style of lyricism and composition, like
he's
his
up
early
there.
work,
He's
is
up
some
there.
of my favorite stuff that I've ever heard in hip hop. And the
Yeah.
fact that he was so young when he made it just makes it that
Especially
much
a lot of his early Odd Future work.
Dude,
It's just
Do you think he's the
incredible, man.
best in Odd Future?
ooh, wow.
He's better than Tyler. At
Today?
rapping, at
Now?
rapping.
Tyler doesn't
Or
even see
then.
himself as a rapper, really, right?
Have you listened to
Not
Flower
really.
Boy?
And he's nice though.
No, is that a movie?
Flower Boy by Tyler.
That's
Flower Boy,
album.
his album by
It was
Top.
Grammy nominated.
It's
That was-
great.
it was
up
fire.
there
It's
for
absolutely
Grammy
great.
for album of
Yeah.
the year.
But
Interesting.
see,
Yeah, I
Sheldon,
haven't heard it.
that's not really like I wouldn't put that on the lyrical content scale.
Bro,
I'd
he
say
was
it's just a
rapping, though.
smooth, buttery dude. I saw him live. I saw him perform the entire
Yeah.
album. I love that album.
Yeah.
But I just don't think it's like super lyrical. I think it's more musical. Like he's kind of switched over into more of like a composing kind of thing. Like this
Interesting how
whole-
he switched like that too.
Dude, he wants to make Golf Wang house appliances. Like he wants to turn Golf Wang into almost like an IKEA thing, dude. Like he's one of those mogul guys. Like
Yeah, he's a mogul.
He doesn't want to be just a rapper, and I respect that. But I have to say, like, and no shade to Tyler because I love him. I think Earl's a better lyricist.
I think
For sure.
in that group at the time, I thought Me personally, I thought Damo Genesis was the best one in the group.
Oh, I forgot about
yeah,
Damo Genesis.
Damo
I thought
Genesis.
Damo
is so
was-
dope.
You ever watch
The best
their Adult Swim show?
Loader
Oh,
Squad.
yeah.
Loader
That-
Squad.
That was one of the shows that made me want to work for Adult Swim. Because I was
That's
like, if
amazing.
my job was just to tape this all day, I have the
Yeah.
best job ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the when
Garfield?
I'm thinking of
right.
when the dude goes like outside of Home Depot and like in a suit and like hands out his resume.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, like all the dudes like are just waiting for work and they like chase him out.
Yeah. Did you see the Scared Straight one?
That was
yeah.
fun.
That's a great one. man.
Classic.
Yeah.
What's the one? There's like a superhero, Catchphrase Jones. Do you know that one?
No, but that sounds great.
Catchphrase Jones, just like Taco. No, who's the short Jasper?
Jasper's the
Jasper,
fat kid.
yeah, Jasper just plays this villain every single. There's like multiple, so
Yeah.
every single Catchphrase Jones, he plays a villain doing something, and Catchphrase Jones comes and saves the day and uses a catchphrase that makes no sense whatsoever. No, it's a good one.
Yeah, that was a great show, man. I got to check that one out. But yeah, that show got canceled. But yeah, definitely in my top 5, I would say Earl was there. And dude, you guys remember in high school where like Odd Future was like the biggest thing ever. It was
Took
Yeah.
over the world.
huge. It was
Massive.
huge, man.
Yeah, they had a cult like following, which was like cool to see.
We were part of it.
Because
Yeah.
I was actually at the show in New York. It's crazy. I feel like I've
For
only
Bastard?
been. I'm trying to. It was the first show that Earl Sweatshirt got released.
I think that was Goblin.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Goblin
was
era.
Goblin.
Yeah, and it was bedlam. Like somebody like got like absolute bedlam. Like I never. It was the first time. Like I grew up listening to like a lot of alternative music too. Like as far as like rock and stuff. Like I was big on like the emo era too. Like Fall Out Boy, like My Chemical Romance. And I remember like just studying like bands too. I'm like a music fan in general, even though like I'm
Yeah.
a hip hop head. Like studying like Kiss and like I'm trying to
Journey, Don't Stop Believing.
Green Day.
Green Day, Queen. Like it was the first time I'd seen hip hop where I felt like this is rock music.
Yeah.
Like it was the first time I was like, am I at a hip hop concert?
Right.
Like I thought like this is about like smoking and like drinking 40s and like that. I'm from New York, boom bap. That's what it like put a completely different spin on like what I felt like hip hop was as a culture. And like
Yeah.
it didn't feel like it was radical. Like
Exactly.
pun intended.
No pun intended of the song.
Pun
yeah.
intended. You know, pun intended.
Yeah.
Like it was just so crazy to see that I felt like the genre of music that I love wasn't bounded anymore. And then years later, now you have like the Little Uzis and Juice WRLDs of the world.
Yeah,
and, like
man.
which makes me like super happy because
Or
I feel
X.
like I watched that.
Yeah.
Rest
X
in
had
peace,
that sound
rest
too.
in peace, X.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
X had that sound too, where it's just
Yeah.
like that, like screaming, like da da da, like just
Yeah.
mad, like aggressive hip hop. Which
Yeah.
honestly,
How
I think
DMX
started
started
MOP started that whole stuff. Though.
I think it was
like,
DMX.
I feel like if you listen to MOP's
Yeah,
early
he's
stuff, like
pretty
it's
angry.
just like bang, bang, bang. Like I've never went
That-
to a show
Oh,
because
that's interesting.
it was just that like wild. But they came to Philly. Like I was gonna go see MOP.
Oh yeah, sorry, finish that.
What's up? No,
I
no.
just made me think of Odd Future, like the first Made in America. My friend Mike, who's like obsessed with everything music, everything fashion, like all that stuff. He said he went to their concert at Made in America, and he said it was awesome, it was really cool, but I'll never do it again
Yeah.
because they like encouraged mosh pits and they
yeah.
encouraged like punching people in the
Yeah.
face and like
Oh
all
yeah,
this stuff.
people were
And
getting knocked out.
He's
at
like
that
we are
concert, like,
we are
legit.
right up in center and like all this chaos was happening around us.
Dude, I feel that when Wolf first came out, I went to go see Tyler live, and it was just a bunch of white people fighting each other. Like that's what the
all
concert
it
was. It was white people punching each other,
Yeah.
and I was like, I'm in the wrong place, man.
Yeah.
But it was
Yeah.
cool. I totally believe it was that crazy.
Remember when the Yonkers video came out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh,
my-
my
I never
god.
signed-
Yeah,
Talk
that
about a
was
great hip
disgusting.
hop aesthetic though.
Disgusting.
Absolutely disgusting, but like everything in that.
I also
Crazy.
think of She with Frank Ocean.
Mhm.
That's a fucking creepy
Frank
music video.
Frank Ocean, super hot take. Warning you guys, Frank Ocean might be the toughest rapper in Odd Future.
He
might
can
be the-
rap.
Really?
Yeah, he can rap.
He might
Dude,
be the what?
He might be one of the toughest lyricists. I'll say lyricist.
definitely one of the most
Thank you
talented
for making me
artists.
correct myself. It's okay. I like stuff.
No, because I didn't hear what you said. I heard rapper. I didn't hear the word before.
like so he's rapped on like the Raph song with Lil Uzi and Playboy Cardi. Raph murdered it. He rapped on Oldie, which is a hip hop classic.
Oh yeah, dude, that's like their
Bumping
cipher, right?
ODs in my
Cellular
cellular phone.
Crazy.
Love that song.
Yeah.
Like
Wow,
And
I
even-
need to listen to that song. That's like a 10-minute song too.
if
Everyone
Frank Ocean
even
came out
Jasper
with-
raps in that
12.
one.
Yeah, if Frank
Hi, I'm
Ocean came out with
Jasper.
like
no,
a
I'm
rap
not a
song.
rapper.
Oh my god, if he came out with a rap album, Frank Ocean.
Oh, I think
If
Jasper.
he, no, I'm saying if he just wanted to come out with a rap album, it'd be like people like, oh my god, this is crazy.
You know,
he'd be way better than
He-
most
that
rappers.
I
dude-
like Vince Staples too, man.
Yeah, Vince
Like,
Staples
Vince-
is definitely good.
I saw
Love
him.
Vince
I saw him
Staples.
live because he opened up for Tyler, and I was blown away, man.
Are
His
they
performance was
affiliated?
Awesome.
Did you listen to his last album? Was it something Fish or Fishbowl? Something
Yeah.
like that?
Fishbowl, yeah.
Something
He had a
like
song with Juicy J on there that was dope.
I like the song that he had that was in Black Panther. That's a really good song with Kendrick. Can't remember the name of it.
That whole
Dead-
soundtrack
It's like
was-
you're
was
dead
awesome.
to me. That
Yeah.
song. You're dead to me.
Yeah. That whole soundtrack though was amazing.
Fire.
Yeah, he's super
Yeah.
dope. I
King's
like that
Dead.
he's technical too. Like that man has an aqua lung. Like some
You
people.
talking
that-
about Frank Ocean?
No, never talking about
Vince.
Vince Staples.
Okay.
If how do I put it? Like there's been rappers like Big Pun, I say like Eminem, like people who have like Outkast, both rappers in Outkast, obviously Andre and Big Boy, like that can just rap so many bars without taking a breath, and like how do I put it? It changes like the notes and the pattern of it. Not to get like super technical, but like I love when rappers can just keep on flowing like rigor mortis, like we were talking about before. Kendrick punched in a lot on that, like you can tell, like mixed by Ali, one of the greatest engineers ever. Also another hot take, but
This is amazing.
Yeah, keep saying more. Say more
yeah,
things.
but so Vince Staples, like if you listen to North and you try to rap it,
Yeah.
like you'll literally run out of breath like a lot of times. Like unless you're like you technique. If you ever want to learn how to like rap a fast song, you run and rap it, and it makes your breath control get better. Actually,
Really?
Interesting.
Why do you think that is?
I'm
Lose a lot
not
of
something
oxygen.
to do with your diaphragm. Like
You're definitely
It opens up
challenging
your
body.
diaphragm?
it's something to do with like your diaphragm and your breathing because you're working like your lung capacity as running and your diaphragm. Like,
Oh, that would make sense. So you're strengthening that. So when you're not running and you're speaking or you're flowing,
I guess it's just like lyrical
makes it
ankle
easier.
weights.
Exactly.
That's
You're
interesting, yeah.
building up resistance only to cast that resistance aside so that you can do it like you had the resistance there, and now your body responds to it. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
yeah, I
that's
never
a
even
hot
thought of it. Like doing anything like that. That's,
Yeah, I used to like be super into like learning a lot of fast rap songs when I was young. Like I used to rap Twisted for everybody.
Because it's impressive to do.
Yeah, and it was just like a cool like party trick. Too bad like I didn't keep it until like I actually went to college. It was useful and it would have been.
Do you find? Have you been doing this? You've been
Um,
doing this. You've been going on the treadmill and you've been practicing.
No, I like when I was younger I actually did though. Like cuz I
Yeah.
like heard about it from somebody. I don't remember. I wish I
I'm
did.
just trying to picture young Adrian just like
Yo,
Well,
I used
dude,
to
no,
rap it for
actually-
my cousins like all the time. Like it would be like so real
Yo, Adrian,
quick.
do that thing.
Pretty much, it's definitely like a black kid rite of passage. Like do that dance for everybody.
Oh
like
man,
do
Adrian,
that
run the
dance for
treadmill.
grandma. Like you know what I mean?
what's it
Rapping-
called? The Dougie?
Nah, it's the
Doggy,
treadmill,
do that
baby.
for us. Yeah.
What's the hip hop song that all of you guys can rap by heart? I think I can rap. I think
Um,
I can rap "Bust It" by Young MC.
I
just
can-
need to hear.
I
the
can rap.
instrumental.
I can rap. Thank Me Now by Drake.
The whole thing.
The whole thing.
All right. I think I can do "Bust It" by Young MC, but I need to hear the beat first.
There's
I'm
a-
not gonna
a
have us
lot
do
of
it on the
songs.
podcast, but I'm saying if there's one that you can do by memory from beginning to end, then I'd like to know. which
Hollow
one it
like the
is.
hardest act to follow. I'm not gonna sing it all, but
I know.
I'm like playing it in my head again.
Because I go to a lot of hip hop shows, man.
Like,
and,
are we
like-
talking challenging ones?
No, just like something that you've listened to so many times that you could recite the whole entire song like right now. Like Paid in
Mystery
Full. Paid in Full-
Shadowboxing.
Mis-
Ooh.
You can do that whole thing?
I think I can do the whole thing.
Really?
Yeah,
That's interesting.
yeah.
Man.
I'm hearing the beat, doom, and I think I can get the whole thing.
You do the whole.
I think I can get the whole thing, like all
I
5
feel like I have
minutes.
a lot.
Yeah,
Like
really.
a lot.
That you could do
Like,
from
First one that comes to your head.
Say if maybe Biggie Suicidal Thoughts. Like I feel like that was
okay.
that was really
That's a
big
good
like
one.
growing up.
Yeah.
And I feel like say if your brain was like was like a tetrabyte, I'm sure it's more than that of like information. Like I feel like I at least have like 100 gigabytes of
Yeah,
music,
there's
pure
a-
music
there's a
in my
couple
brain.
There's a couple Kendricks in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kendrick songs.
I think there's maybe 2 Eminems in there.
I could probably rap All Caps by Mad Villain like from beginning to end. That was like the first,
Really?
That was the song that
Ooh.
made me fall in love with hip hop.
I could
like,
do Yonkers.
Mad Villain is incredible.
That's just that album is a classic. If you don't own it somewhere, like you have to. That's like a must-have.
I only found out about Mad Villain like a year or so ago.
Dude, Mad Lib, you want to talk about somebody who's like a really gifted producer and makes like amazing music in general? That guy makes amazing
Beautiful
music.
music.
Like him, Jay Dilla. That's just like they make some really, really awesome stuff. And obviously the MF Doom combination is crazy. Same thing with Danger Mouse, man, combining with MF Doom. And then who's that kid? Nerhernium. Who's the kid? His rap name begins with an N. It's kind of like this complex name that MF Doom did a joint album with him. I don't know. I'm out there somewhere. But
Yeah.
on the topic of brain size, They said, and this is a fun fact for everybody, I'm not sure if it's a hot take, but they say that the amount of pictures that are on Facebook, like think about all the pictures that have ever been on Facebook, that's how big your brain is. So your brain is the computer capacity size of a computer that could hold every picture on Facebook that's ever existed. That's how powerful your brain is. So think about all the billions of pictures that are on
It's a
Facebook.
lot of pictures.
That's that's like the storage unit of your mind, pretty much.
Wow.
Which is insane.
It's a lot of pictures.
Yeah, but to stay on the topic of hip hop, man, I could definitely probably rap some Eric B and Rakim songs, like "Paid in Full." I feel like that one would be like super easy to do, you know.
Is there like a Dr. Seuss like song? Not
There has to be
how
some
can I
of my
put this? How can I put this? Like, is there a song that's kind of like training wheels, kind of like Dr. Seuss books are for rapping?
Probably
That like you start out with when you're trying to learn how to rap.
anything Will Smith wrote from "I'm the Rapper, He's the DJ." He's DJ, I'm the rapper. Like that. Album
That's
would
funny. I
probably
was gonna actually say like a Will Smith song. Like
Yeah.
if you think about like the Miamis and like of the World by Will Smith and like his old stuff with Jazzy Jeff, DJ Jazzy Jeff.
I think
what
I
up?
can beat Mike Tyson. You should listen to that one.
I'm trying to think. What's like, I don't think I started with the easy songs. I think I started with like a lot of like the funny stuff. I remember Afro Man was like definitely like Colt 45. That was like one of the first songs
hated that song, man. I hated
Wow.
it. No, I hate it.
That's crazy.
No, I hated it in college because I heard it so much in
How about
college. How about now?
Yeah.
No, I used to love that song before I went to college. In college, I hated it.
It got played out. Like it's
hated
definitely
it.
like comes on too much. But that was one of the first songs like I knew, which is wow, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Not cool to say that, kind of, because it's a raunchy song. My mom wouldn't be happy. I was listening to it
right.
so
Do
young.
not listen to this podcast.
That's what Danny Brown said, though. He said that the definition of hip hop to him, though, is something that you can't listen to in front of your parents. That's how he described it.
50 Cent, Get Rich or Die Trying.
Really?
Yeah, I was in 4th or 3rd grade when I somehow got my hands on that album.
Bro, you were
My mom was not gonna let me.
I
have
think that. Wow, I might have that over Reasonable Doubt actually as like the best album
Really?
to me ever. Like top
rap albums.
rap
Or
albums.
Just rap albums.
But I mean, like I'm biased, so like I feel like hip hop's over everything, kind of. But anyways, that's here nor there. But I think it's one of like, yeah, no, I got it as my favorite rap album, best rap album. That's what I personally think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Get Rich or Die Trying.
Get Rich or Die Trying. Yeah,
Dang.
I think top to bottom. I think everything on. But I'm New York. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
Tim's, Fitteds, like
So is that
40s,
where we're
like
going now? Top
oh,
hip hop album are all of our favorites. That's an interesting.
Oh
one.
wow, okay.
Get
Give me a
Rich or Die
second.
Trying is your favorite.
Yeah,
So
you
my
know what
top
it is?
five-
Like it's crazy. Like you just got to listen to it top to bottom and
Yeah,
see
I
what
like
you feel
it's a. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's like, to me, that's like as rap as it gets. Like Get Rich or Die Trying. When you first hear that, it had the melodics, then it had the heavy hits in there. Same thing, kind of like with Biggie. 50 Cent reminds me of Biggie a lot too.
I find myself always over the years coming back to Illmatic.
Illmatic, really.
That's one of the greatest of all time.
Illmatic is
That's in my top 5 best hip hop albums ever. Yeah.
Ooh.
Really?
Well, you know my stance on Nas. I'm Jay-Z to the death.
I'm
so.
Nas to the death, bro.
I'm
I
Jay-Z
can't
to death,
get with
bro.
Jay-Z.
My
period.
friend, put your
Period.
I love them both.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
definitely on the same.
put your conflict aside. Listen to the
I
music.
can't get with Jay-Z.
It's
I
rock
told you I
or
can't
die.
get with Jay-Z, man.
I liked It Was Written
That's
better than Illmatic though. I'm one of the few people that can say that.
Really?
To me, It Was Written.
What makes you so special?
It was cool though. I dug that album a lot, man.
Yeah, I'm definitely into like the storytelling. Not that Illmatic doesn't have like some of the dopest stories ever, but I like the stories more. You know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It Was Written.
It was written was definitely like a really
I
personal
think
one.
one of Jay-Z's, like, I don't even say his worst albums, but like his sub-tier albums are better than
His Linkin Park
Nas's
crossover.
best album.
That's so dumb to say. I'm sorry.
Dude, I'll listen to American Gangster 100 times before I listen to Illmatic.
That's just wild.
Ooh.
Man.
No, I don't agree.
Think about it.
I don't agree.
No, I can't agree with that one.
I mean, I just don't even like Jay.
Once Blue Magic pops on, that's all I need.
I love
I
the
love
I Know
Jay
track
sound.
on that joint.
That's a good song.
I think I Know is like a very underrated Jay-Z song
Yeah.
with Pharrell on that joint.
Yeah, that's it. When
crazy.
Pharrell and Jay-Z get together, man, you just have magic.
Yeah.
When Pharrell collabs with anyone, it's always good.
Change clothes.
Do you guys
My
listen to
favorite,
Nerd?
My favorite duo is still Kanye and Kid Cudi, man. That's the duo that won.
Kitsy Ghost?
Kitsy Ghost.
I love Kitsy
It
Ghost.
was kind of mediocre.
I don't know.
I say that because
I mean, Mr. Rager.
You know why I say that? I say that
Amazing
because
song.
that's a great song. I say that because Kid Cudi had such a helping hand in 808s and Heartbreaks that we wanted something in that world so bad, and we
True.
didn't get it.
He really did well in Welcome to Heartbreak.
It's one of my favorite Kanye songs.
Mm-hmm.
That song's amazing. He then did he sang the chorus of Paranoid. If you
Did
remember
he
that song.
really?
Yeah, that
Nah.
song. Do. He's on that song.
Wow.
He's
I love that song. I
Uncredited,
didn't know that.
uncredited vocalist. He's on another
Kanye's
song.
famous for
Actually,
that.
no. Now that I'm like,
When you hear it,
playing in my
when you
head, I
hear
can
that,
hear it. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's Cudi.
When did Kanye stop writing his own music? Did he ever
My
write his own
Beautiful
music?
Dark Twisted Fantasy. I think that was the peak. I think that's when he stopped.
Wait, hold on. I'm about to seem really dumb. He stopped? What
Bro,
are you talking
he's
about?
had numerous writing collaborations over
So
the years.
Life of Pablo wasn't like him?
Not all of them.
Nah, which breaks my
30,
heart. Like,
30 Hours
yeah.
is written
That-
by Drake.
yeah,
What?
30
Yeah,
hours
30
is written by
hours.
Drake.
Oh, I
Wow.
don't
The
know.
Doesn't
whole
that
song
hurt?
ran by Drake. Like, not
Yeah.
the whole song, but a
What?
lot of the song. It hurts.
Yeah. So real quick, just to get like a shout out to one of my boys. My friend's boy Samaje. He's from Newburgh, New York. His cousin just like broke onto the scene, and he's one of Kanye's writers on like this last album. His name is Partisan Fontaine. He has a song with Cardi B that just came out.
Okay.
And he
Wow,
Partisan
congrats.
Fontaine.
This is your boy.
Samaje Reed.
You say this is your friend?
Yeah, this is my friend, and
Yeah,
that's his
It's
like
on Spotify.
it's all over the place. Like he has a song with Cardi B.
Sorry, don't
like,
question Cardi B.
Yeah, no, like, and Partisan Fontaine also ghostwrites for Cardi B. He wrote like
I need
I'm
to check
talking-
that.
I'm
You
talking
need to
like-
show me this song.
talking
after.
Bodak-
Is he the
Bodak
one-
Yellow,
is he
all
the
that.
one that did the song Warning that they were talking about? The song is like, no, Be Careful.
yeah, he wrote
That one?
yes
I know who he
yeah
is.
he wrote Be Careful.
Be Careful, that's what it is.
I'm man, let me not blow him up. Like he wrote a lot of stuff.
That
He's
was
he's been
huge-
writing.
I remember
a lot
that
of
was a
Yeah, I want
big
you to
deal on
show
Twitter.
me that song after this
Bro,
podcast.
how do you
Part-
become
part-
a ghostwriter, bro?
It's not super hard. So once Kanye heard like the Cardi B song, whatever it's like I gotta walk out of Gucci. I think I got too many hangers. That was the one
21
line.
Savage. Is he in that song?
That might be it. Yeah. Party with God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Party with
I
Cardi.
like hot sauce on my chicken.
Yeah, that's
Oh, that song.
Yeah, that one. Come on.
that was a song Kanye heard,
21.
and then he said, "I gotta have him here." And so I think ghostwriting happens
Especially on a party with the
when
Savage
somebody.
song.
It's like
Anywhere,
anything else. It's like the law of influence.
Yeah.
Like people like will vouch for you without even realizing.
dude, that
You know.
Just because he has a song with Cardi B. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like he heard it and he was like, "Who wrote that? I know somebody writes Cardi B's music," and then he found him through that.
Oh,
Bro,
okay.
that has one of the funniest lines on that song.
Yeah, we could talk
21
about
Savage.
hot sauce on my. Oh my
No. He said,
That's my
He
favorite
said,
line.
hot and cars and fashion. I don't need pussy, I'm fat. On God.
I'm just like, you know, but you know what? I'm just like, and then you know what?
I'm
I
a
like
big
hot
ad lib
sauce on my
guy.
chicken
I
too.
love ad
Just
libs.
that on God, dude, is
On
so
God.
fun. He's like, on God.
I love ad libs, yo. I think Young Thug has like some of the best ad libs ever. Young
know,
Thug
I
and
was-
Migos are
I-
just oh
Young
Migos
Thug-
do have funny ones, man.
They got go,
Young
mama.
Thug has definitely come a long way for me personally. I used to hate Young Thug. Like,
Dude,
there's
that's
this one
great.
song. I don't even know. That's what it sounds like. You know what I'm talking about. It sounds like that. It's stupid.
Lifestyle.
I can't. Yeah, I can't
Lifestyle.
even like. Yeah, exactly. You don't know what the fuck he's saying, and it like drives me nuts. It did drive me nuts.
You
And
sound like someone's parent, bro.
well, yeah, I
definitely
guess.
do sound like
that's
a
how
hip hop
the-
dad.
Yo, not gonna lie.
What are they saying?
When
Not gonna lie. That's
somebody
how-
should
am I
write that
old?
down.
That's how
Hip-hop
this
dad.
new rap, these like SoundCloud style
Wait,
rap,
wait.
makes me feel like I'm our older generation was
Yeah.
like, what's that garbage you're listening to?
Let me
Yeah.
defend
And now
myself.
I'm like, yo, this shit is fucking like it's like is my ears
It's
different?
the first time I'm there as like a parent.
Yeah,
like
it's
you know,
like-
like once like upon like a time like my mom, right? Like my granddad was probably like, "What is this? This is terrible."
Yeah,
Bobby
yeah.
Brown.
You need to listen to some curse.
Oh my god.
Like at one, you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
now
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just like,
This
so
adulter.
I was like,
heard Bobby
Trippie Red.
Brown
What are y'all
sold
listening
the
to?
devil.
Red.
Who is this Trippie Red character?
Dude.
You know, like
Yeah, yeah.
that's how I feel.
that-
Like I'm there. Like
That's
Little
like
Uzi was
help.
like X. I'm like Ski Mask too, but after that it's like
Nah, there was
I don't know.
someone. There was someone, and I was like,
Lil Pump.
I can't.
it
get
might have
behind
been
that.
Lil Pump.
oh,
could-
that
it-
the
it
new
might have
Kanye
been.
song though, I love it though. That's so
That
catchy.
song's funny as hell.
That song is it's like a hip hop parody.
That song's funny.
Yeah, it really
Bro,
is.
I hated it too when it first came out. Your boyfriend's such a dork.
Then he goes on Saturday Night
McLovin.
Live and he's dressed up as a drink. I'm
Who
like,
is
dude,
this?
what
Kanye's
is
at it.
going
He's a buffoon.
on?
Oh yeah, did you see his meeting with Trump? That was wild.
Yeah, but I'm saying like
That was-
even
he was
before
pretty much-
that,
He's just doing all this.
He was dry sucking his dick live on TV. Bro, that was crazy.
it was. I didn't watch it because I just didn't want to be weirded out.
I watched a little bit of it, and he's like on his knees, like saying how great Trump is. I'm like,
Here's the thing. You got to remember, they were friends way before this presidency.
I
Were
get
they
that.
friends?
But if you're
Dude,
friends,
they
you
were like
gassing up,
best friends, bro.
you
They were
gassing up
really
your
best
homie
friends.
like that though.
I didn't know that.
Even if you are friends, like you don't gas up.
Well, we
your
don't know the behind the
friends like
scenes.
that.
Yeah,
I
seriously,
could,
but
I
we-
could see Donald Trump being like, "Dog, people hate me. Like, people love you. Like, I need help." You know what I'm saying?
Well, he
Like,
said that in their sit down. He said something. He was like, "Oh, I didn't want to I didn't want to associate you with myself because everyone hates me." And then Kanye was like, "Oh no, dude, I love you, blah blah." And it was like, I don't know, it was like
they're
weird.
friends though, man. That's all I gotta say. Like, I feel like people are like, "Yo, like Kanye's getting political." That's just his friend. That's just how I see it. Man.
Yeah, I mean, Kanye's doesn't seem like the type of dude that's gonna back down from how he feels about something, you know?
I mean, he wants to be president.
But yeah.
Kanye's also a troll. Like sometimes I wonder how much of crazy, like multiple personality, like obviously like bipolar Kanye we're seeing versus how much tactical.
People think he's
genius
crazy
Kanye we're
because
seeing.
they can't predict what he's gonna do. But I don't think that makes him crazy.
I said it
Like
before.
kind of what you're saying.
Can be
Yeah.
dangerous though.
Yeah,
Somebody at my
Definitely dangerous.
absolutely.
Somebody at my work said that he thinks that Kanye West is autistic. That's like my new thing now. I think that Kanye is
I'm
autistic.
telling everyone.
I don't mean that in a negative light. Think about it, dude. Like when he talks to people, like you don't really see a lot of emotion. He's amazing at art and music. Like that's all the stuff that like autistic people tend to exhibit.
You
Like,
just think
amazing,
you just
amazing
think he's
art
a
skill.
savant?
He's a savant with like low social awareness, in my opinion. Like he says stuff and he's just like, "Why is everybody mad?"
Yeah,
And they're
but
just like, "Bro, like."
Yeah, but he wasn't always like that though.
I think he was, man. Like I would argue that. I mean, are you talking about just like music or persona?
I'm trying to think like all the times he was in the spotlight, just like talking. But he
think-
also didn't talk for a long time.
I think he might be slightly. I'm not saying like
He's on the
I'm
spectrum.
Very, very slightly autistic. Like that would explain a lot of the artistic genius, but the lack of self awareness. Like every time you see him talk, he doesn't smile. He like barely emotes, and when he emotes, it's almost like very forced. You know. That's just my takeaway now. Like that's what I think. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
he's a robot.
And combined with being the center of attention and the butt of every joke and all this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you talk about liposuction and stuff like that. It's like, whoa, bro. Like people usually don't divulge that kind of information. That's cracking under pressure. And then of course the slavery content, comment, and all this stuff. I try and, in my mind, really appreciate the art and think less about the artist.
Yeah, you gotta separate it at a point.
Man, I feel like a lot of people have been struggling with that. I think not only Kanye, like I'm sure you guys talked about it with X. Like,
yeah.
You know, it's just
Yeah, because
people really struggle
he
with
was
that.
he was very controversial. I mean, you read that report, right? The
Yeah.
report of what was it, his girlfriend or just some girl that was
I
was
think it was his girlfriend.
yeah, something like that. But like all that police report was fucked up, man.
I said on the show, I don't condone what he did at all. Was he a good person, a bad person? I can't speak on that. I can only speak on his music, and I think it was great. That's it.
The only thing about that, because I'm with you guys. Like some people who are obviously against him, their argument would be, well, you may say you're against the artist, but you're for his art, but you're still condoning his behavior because you're supporting his art.
Okay, but everyone
And it's
goes
like-
to Walt
it's like-
Disney World,
Yeah.
and Walt Disney might have been some dude that really hated Jews. He didn't let like women work at in like the animation studio, so it's like you gotta pick and choose, man. And you can say that about a lot of things too.
Yeah.
Like that's a deeper conversation. But
Big
nobody
deeps.
has a problem with Disney. Like we pick and choose like what we get offended.
That's
by.
how it always is, man.
Mhm.
It's the fake outrage.
That's it, man.
It happens for a couple days and then goes
Yeah.
right back to normal. It's just the time that we live in the internet.
I think in hip hop though it's a bigger deal because people are always trying to incriminate rappers. Like, see, these are bad influences.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and, like they really jump on rappers. Like,
Animals.
it's just like with violent video games. Like, I feel like a lot of journalism media is just like this hip hop is making kids go insane and take Xanax and.
Do you remember
know
that
what I'm
Think
lawyer?
about it. Video games and rap are still. Rap just turned 40 this year. It's like, dude, rock has been around since. Rock, jazz, all those genres have been around for close to 100 years.
Do you think it's ever going to be eclipsed?
What do you mean?
I was really thinking about
Like
that.
you
That's what
think
we've been
that like
talking about it.
you mean like when rap takes a backseat to a different genre?
Well, yeah, because in the 20s,
gonna happen.
when the
Yeah, it will
20s, it
happen.
was all about swing, bro.
It
like
will
in
happen,
the 20s,
dude.
like the way that we're bopping and stuff now, that's how people were bopping in the 20s to swing music. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah.
Think
Okay,
about
I like that you
They're
said
like, I'm
that.
gonna put this jam on. Like,
think about how long it took for rap to take over from rock, right?
Mhm.
So rock was obviously dominant from 1970 until about 2010, right? That's a long time. So rap's here now. Country music's obviously getting massive in popularity.
Yeah, I mean, I
I
just
don't think it'll overtake it, but something is gonna hit that peak. I think it might be dance music, just like EDM stuff like that. For some reason, I feel like that is starting to transcend, because it's just different. Whereas rap was always niche when it came about. You had the b-boys and you also had the DJs, and that's how it started. And then it expanded from there. And now rap is so blurred with music. You had Lil Peep, who was doing like emo screamo, transition to rap. You had Post Malone, transition to rap. You have Trippie Redd, Juice WRLD, very from that emo scene, transitions into rap.
I love him, by the way. I love Juice WRLD's music.
I'm like,
I don't mean to throw you off.
I was
just
gonna
wanna
say,
throw that
yeah,
out.
I'm a little bit
because
like on the fence about
to
him
me,
too.
he sounds like a carbon copy of Post Malone.
Okay. I love Post
ears.
Malone too.
Oh,
So
no, I don't think so. I
love
think
Post
he
Malone.
has like a
yeah.
just sonically to me, he just sounds different. I can understand as far as
I
like,
think when he hits certain ranges on notes, it sounds very similar to Post. One of his songs on Future's album, well, the album together, when he's singing, I'm just like, dude, that sounds like Post. Like, sounds like
But
Post.
I think to me, I think Post Malone like is a way better singer than Juice WRLD.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
like you remember like what his song like Too Young, like some of the notes he hit like on that, like if you guys can go back in like your musical archives, are like crazy. Like he can.
A lot of that song was
he's
compressed though.
true.
Compressed and I think had a little bit of auto tune on it. But I
But
get what you're saying.
still-
But when
but
his
still.
raw, because I heard him sing live,
And
he
fall
can
fall
belt.
fall apart. Oh
Yeah,
my
that
goodness.
song
He can
is-
belt.
Oh yeah.
That's a song that made me really get into Pose, man.
That
yeah.
song,
Yeah.
I think was Stay.
Yeah, stay
I
for
think
me.
Stay
Ooh,
was the one that
I like
really
that.
got me as a fan.
Yeah.
Congratulations was cool. Like that was like the moment when I like was like telling people like, all right, now you see why I like him. Like
Yeah.
it was like
How
I feel
early-
like that was like a bragging
How
moment.
early were you on Post Malone? Because I know you're kind of the early wave guy.
Super early. Like my friend went down to Hampton, and I guess probably further as down south you were getting like because he like from Texas, right? So I remember White Iverson came out, and I probably heard it like the first couple months.
Really?
And I was like, this is sick. And I was like, just like playing it all the time. And then I showed my boy Julian, who plays on the 49ers, and he's like me. He's also a like digital crate surfer too. So we're definitely gonna have to like gotta bring him here one time too.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yo,
Yeah.
if you could get us an NFL player, that'd be unreal.
That'd be cool, man. I would definitely love that.
Yeah, because
But-
he's definitely on the same like
What do
type
you-
time as far as
What do you
music.
think, though, Adrian, about my initial question? Like, do you think that hip hop will ever be eclipsed?
Oh
I-
yeah.
Really?
So I wonder about like the viability of hip hop all the time. Like I like to think about music like stocks. Like, and I guess maybe that's like the financial part of my brain. Like usually like things like hit like mania. It's like if you could like think about it like that, and then it's like here, and then it'll drop. Like I wonder if we've seen how big like hip hop will get. And when I think about Drake, sometimes I think about like that climax. Like I don't know if will ever get anything more like mainstream in rap and hip hop music than like Drake. Like God's Plan, like me going out like all the time and being like, only love my bed and my mama. Like every single person, like regardless of like
They can relate
race,
to
create,
that,
like everybody loves that song. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
of
now
course.
I'm like, I think that's the height of like hip hop. Wow,
I think
that's a super hot take.
I think
Yeah,
music,
I think God's Plan might be like, or that type of like this era we're in might be like the as big as hip hop gets.
The climax, as people say.
Yeah.
I think music is cool because it's a reflection of society and like what we care about, what's important, the things we're going through. And I think a lot, especially with a lot of issues going on in today's age, I think that rap provides an outlet for a lot of artists and people to speak out about these things. And maybe that's why it's so popular right now. But I think, I mean, you say it's a downslope. I just think it's evolving. Like, we don't even know where it's going to end up right now because, like, you know, it was just rap at first. Now they're incorporating singing. with Drake and Kanye's and all these people, now it's more like sing rapping, closer, like almost like a mesh with R&B.
Yeah, that's why I say it's like a stock, because stocks are speculative in the same way I'm being like speculative, where I think it's just we've reached that bubble, like we've reached mania.
You don't see it going any higher.
No, so like,
Really?
nope.
That's so interesting.
I think, and I'm not even saying it can't. So I think we're here. I'm not even saying it can't stay like this for a while. I just don't see it getting any bigger.
So when's the bubble gonna pop?
I think it might be. I'm not sure,
wow.
and I think that.
Enjoy the ride, guys, because it's not gonna last much.
Yeah,
longer.
no. I think like obviously we still have a lot of time before like people aren't listening to it. But like now, like if you imagine like if you bought in like to Apple, like I'll keep on going with like the stock thing, or Amazon or something, and it was like really like, then it like blew up. And like it's always gonna be like here. Like I feel like it'll always be high, but I think it's like now it's not like you didn't get into it early. It's like if you found about like cryptocurrency right now. Like if you found
you're already too late.
yeah, you're too late. You're like
Too late.
like you're a late adapter to it. I think where we're seeing like the fact that it's changing so much, I think means that there's a downturn in it, because you have like Lil Uzi. Like once Lil Uzi came out, I was like, he's going to be so revolutionary that I feel like hip hop's never going to be the same. I like suspected that we'll just be melody driven and it will turn into like how you were saying, like swing. People don't even care about like the lyrics of it and the like true pinnacle of like hip hop nature. They just care about how the melody sounds now.
Yeah.
I think he
Like,
was
totally.
starting out to be revolutionary. Now he's just like another one of the products
Mhm.
for SoundCloud rap. I'm kind of there with you on the pinnacle of it. I think the tattooed face, colored dreads type of artists are kind of killing.
Face tattoos.
Yeah. What did I say?
Yeah.
Did I not say that?
I don't know. I don't think it's a tree. It's like it's wasn't like Avatar. Like I feel like that like
Last Airbender.
no like the
movie
James
James
Cameron,
Cameron.
right?
Oh.
Yeah.
Cameron.
Yeah, like like that sacred tree.
Yeah.
I feel like it's,
Two different pages.
I love this reference. Though.
yeah, I feel like
two
it's like
different
a
sides.
sacred tree. I don't feel like it's killing. I just feel like it's something else on like that sacred tree. Like you know what I mean?
I don't think it's gonna last though. I
think
it'll phase out in about a couple
I think
years.
it'll phase itself out. Just like people were like, hip hop is dying because like D4L was coming with like the Laffy Taffy song and like Lil Jon was snapping.
We
his
needed that.
fingers.
We needed that movement though. The snap movement.
Yeah,
we needed
like,
that in history.
It's cool. It's gonna put itself right out. I think hip hop is a very much like self-correcting like thing, and the cool thing about it is like, if I'm trying to think, like Frank Sinatra right now, obviously, like he can't be like, no, like this isn't cool for like genre music Frank Sinatra made, but like Jay-Z is still very much alive and
Yeah.
rapping.
Yeah.
Like the forefathers of this are like still like in place to be like, nah,
Yeah.
y'all tripping.
He's evolved a
It
lot since he
seems like
started.
rappers don't have a shelf age. It seems like you could just be 40 and early 50s. And
That's
still
because of
do
rock
it.
music, man. Rock's shown that you can be into your 70s and 80s and
But do you think?
still go.
Yeah,
I
You know what I mean?
I
Yeah.
think.
It-
Sorry.
No,
my
say
bad.
what, no. You, I talked over you. Say what you're gonna say. I think I know what you're gonna say though.
I just think that there are certain times and certain time periods in people's lives where they can rap about certain things, and why sometimes rappers have a shelf life is whatever they're rapping about and whatever they're doing. Like they can't relate to it themselves anymore. So like when they're rapping, it's almost like what we talked about with Logic. Like you don't really believe what they're saying. Like like music is powerful when you believe what the person is saying in the song. And like Kanye, like graduation Kanye, like high school dropout Kanye, like he's rapping about all these things about his mom and his life and his love life and all this stuff, and like if he tried to rap about that now, it wouldn't necessarily fit, in my opinion.
It wouldn't resonate too much.
Yeah.
Do you know what I think the next iteration of hip hop music is? And maybe this is like me hoping more so than me forecasting. I like when J. Cole came out with like 2014 Forest Hills Drive, and there's a lot of songs, like we're obviously in the age of information, and there's a lot of songs about like emotional intelligence, and people don't even think about it like that. I think we're going to start seeing a lot more like the J. Cole's, Joey Badasses, and Kendricks of the world start like having more like teachable hip hop moments. And you saw that a lot when Jay-Z came out with 444.
You really like Joey Badass, don't you?
I do like
Mentioned-
Joey
you mentioned
Badass.
him a few times. 1999, it's a great album.
Yeah, awesome. That's
what's,
why I see hip hop going though. Next.
Him and
hopefully.
Capital Steez, R.I.P. that song to
survival
Survival
tactics.
Expand on that for a second. You mean do you see hip hop getting more intellectual or more political? What do you mean by teachable moments? Because the Jay-Z thing was a little political, right?
That was like just
It was
financially
both financial
too.
literacy.
Okay.
He's like, bought this painting, it worth $1 million. 2 years later, it's worth
no,
$8
$2
million.
million.
Whatever,
Yeah,
like he
that's an
said.
example,
Yeah, like teaching
saying
people.
stop flexing with the money phones, instead build up your credit, buy property.
Yeah.
He's saying
Yeah.
how come the Jewish community can buy all this property?
That
Yeah,
good
we
credit.
live in it, and none of us can buy the property.
So hip hop is kind of gonna go full circle then, like to Will Smith being like, "Be nice to your mom." Kind of stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
wholesome shit.
so is that what's gonna happen now? It's just
I
gonna
think
take
so. I think we're already seeing it.
Like it's
and-
gonna get corny.
See-
Is that
see-
what you're saying?
No,
Think-
well, I'm
No.
saying,
Ready? Here's a good point.
Okay, I was just gonna make a little add.
Go ahead, and then I'll add after yours.
My thing is, I think that hip hop's appeal, the reason it got so big, and I've said this before on the podcast, is because it is counterculture, because it is not do this, do that.
Mhm.
It's like kill people, burn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
like, that's how it started.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's how all hip hop is at all.
But it's
I
shifting
think
from
It's
it's
rebellious.
counterculture to
It was
just
rebellious.
culture.
It's shifting, I guess.
Yeah, no, definitely like where Nirvana and Kurt Cobain, like how everyone's like, he's like, nah, I'm gonna do it this way, Kurt Cobain, and then everybody started doing something.
Yeah.
So counterculture becomes regular culture. Everybody like, who was the first? Like Little Uzi was like revolutionary with colored dreads, colorful hair,
Yeah.
and face tats, and now everybody has it. So it's regular culture.
My theory with that though is that that negates it from being the hotness. That negates it from being the future now, because the counterculture will always be the future. Like that's my example. Like
Shows
That's why I
over
see
time.
like the
Like what isn't what is-
intellectual stuff coming back because
Right.
of where we are. We're such at a decline of pure intellectualism. That's why I see it coming back because it's
what
going
makes
to
you say
become
that?
counterculture again. Like when Lupe was really hot.
still hot, bro. Still hot.
When Lupe was hot to the masses.
Thank you.
are you talking about the cool?
Do you remember that diss
Yeah,
track
a
he did
little-
where
yeah,
he?
first,
It was
yeah,
it was
the cool food
after
liquor.
Kendrick released with Big Sean. It was Control.
Control,
After he released that verse, and everyone started making diss tracks about Drake.
Mm-hmm.
Lupe did one. Lupe did one where he did the flows of like all the mainstream rappers. He did Drake, he did 2 Chainz, he did I don't know, et cetera, et cetera.
Poor Lupe,
I
man.
think you
Lupe's
guys-
so
Poor
dope.
Lupe.
I got two
That's a
points.
whole different like.
Right.
Let's
conversation.
get on to Lupe, but I got one point, and then we'll hop back on Lupe. So what I was saying about what he was saying about the intellectual rap. So it's like growing up, who did you listen to more of? Your parents or whatever artist you were playing, right? So over time, as we get older, if we hear like you probably idolize Jay-Z, right? I idolize Jay-Z. So I think a lot of
I
people
don't like the
from
word
the-
idolize, but yes, I
you
definitely
know,
like look
you
up
look
to, yeah,
you look up
absolutely.
to Jay-Z. So a lot of people in New York, I'm assuming around our age or older, look up to Jay-Z, Nas,
50.
50,
yeah,
and those
yes.
people like guidance, right? So when you have a rapper saying, "Yo, put your money into this, put your money into that," in a song, and it's like breaking it down because he's a grown man. Jay-Z's like 50 years old now.
Who's doing that besides Hove though? Is what I'm saying.
Who else is doing that right now?
Yeah.
Honestly, off the top of my head, I can't think of someone else.
Okay.
So where he's saying, "Yo, put your money into this, put your money into that. Stop putting the money phones. You're burning money. You're not making any money back." Saying like, buy paintings, sit on it, like invest money, put it into these funds, hire whatever. That stuff, people be like, "Damn, that's enlightening." That's different to hear than like your standard A, B, B, A, like whatever.
I think Logic and J. Cole are both doing that too, though.
J.
Like,
Cole does it with the little rappers. We saying, "Yo," he's like, "Stop drinking all this, stop doing all the drugs."
yeah, and he's
like,
letting them know about like how I said, like how the mania about you dies,
Yeah.
and once that happens, you need to have something solid. And he also like going back to like I said, Forest Hills Drive talks about like loving yours, loving the things that are valuable, you not being materialistic, and you know what I mean. There are a lot of rappers rapping about like social equity, and even though Logic, even though you feel like he panders, one thing that he does do well is like he teaches people how to have empathy. He teaches people not to think that good core morals and qualities are corny. He's like, no, it's okay to
They
like
shouldn't be overlooked.
right, and that's where I think like there's a big like resurgence of that's going to happen.
Has anyone here listened to Lupe's new album?
No, I didn't even
The
know.
last
that.
album I listened to was Lasers.
Yeah, me too. I like that
Bro, what's
album
wrong
too. A lot of people didn't.
What's wrong?
Dude, I like Lupe Fiasco. I just haven't been listening to him.
Well, you got about 3 albums to catch up with.
Okay.
But his new album, Drogus Wave, right? It's 25 songs. The first 10.
One album?
Yeah. It's
Sheesh.
two albums.
Thanks,
An
Lupe.
epic.
It's 2 albums, right? The first album on it, which I think is about 15 songs, is a conceptual album. It's about a group of slaves that were on a slave trip leaving Africa to come to America.
That's interesting.
Right? And the ship gets caught in a storm. All the slaves, instead of like dying, and the ocean understands their pain and accepts them down below.
Whoa.
And they create this like city underwater.
So like an Atlantis.
Kind of like an Atlantis, right? And then what they decided to do was to, as more slave ships were coming, they were like killing like the slave ownerships and using the power of the ocean to send the slaves back to Africa.
Bro,
to start. It was like crazy. And I'm like, and I was talking to Chris and Oz about it, and I'm like, there's so many bars in this that I need to like see lyrics in front of me, because
you have to annotate Lupe.
This is like one of the best I've heard Lupe rap in a long time, and I'm a huge Lupe fan. I loved Tetsuo and Youth, his 2 albums ago. His last one was Drogas. This is Drogas Wave. Tetsuo and Youth was phenomenal.
All right, I know I'm listening
So-
to this.
That's the one with the cool painting that
Yeah,
he did.
there's a lot
Yeah.
of music to catch
Yeah.
up on. Apparently.
So the second half of the album is all Lupe rapping on modern beats and modern topics, right? So he does a sequel to Hip Hop Saved My Life
Cool.
from The Cool.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
He does a sequel, and it's
That's
called
awesome.
Stack That Cheese. And
Yup.
it literally picks up right where that song ended, how he's about to perform his first gig. Now he's saying his baby's here. Because remember he said, I have a baby on the way. Stack that cheese. Mother, sister, cousin. Stack that cheese.
Some.
Stack that cheese. So he's now performing at the concert.
That's awesome.
And it does after the concert up until the next point. And he has another song called Murals Jr., which on the Tetsuo and Youth album, he had a song called Murals, which was 9 minutes, no hook, just rapping
I like that.
over
That's the best.
an insane beat. And he does so many like double entendres in the song. Like there's this one bar, he's like queen like wave hand, not queen like Bohemian Rhapsody queen, like queen like white glove wave hand, like, and then he does all this like bars, like just gymnastics with these words, and I'm just like, what? And he's like rain man, not rain like a rain man. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, like the whole.
Like, he's saying man rain like a king rules, not like Rain Man who predicts the weather.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I was like, what, dude? Yeah, I was like, dude, there's so much like bars coming at me right now.
I'll take your word for it. I know
Yeah.
I'm listening to this.
Drogas
It's really
Wave,
cool.
bro. And dude, it's just a beautiful piece. And like, as of right now, I think a lot of the hip hop community is like, this is what we need. Like you were saying, like that intellectual rap will never die. Will never die.
It can't. Everything else
It
phases
can't.
itself
Everything
out.
else will phase itself out.
Well, people like things with substance. That's the only thing that lasts.
And dude, it is meaty. It's like 90 minutes to almost 2 hours.
It takes more effort to make, and you can't deny effort. That's the thing.
And you know what's crazy? He did that in a year from Drogas.
Yeah, man.
In a year, that's crazy. Because we know how Lupe's pen game works.
Yeah.
He be in the wilderness with swords
I was
and
gonna
like.
say, think
in
about
his
it, dog. What else
camera.
does he do besides like be a ninja? And
Do you
just
follow
go-
him on Instagram?
I feel like I should
Nah.
now.
Dude, give him a page.
He takes Shogun.
I had
classes.
to.
He
I
does
had to
video.
stop following Lupe as much. Like,
He's a little
like,
too extra for you.
yeah, like he started like doing too much. I just wanted to be about the music, and it made me upset because I supported him so much, and I felt like he couldn't give up a little bit to get a lot.
Well, he's really passionate about his work. Cause I don't know if you remember, but he was beefing with his record label for a long time.
Atlantic, but this is the thing. They wanted him to put out hits and singles to make like revenue.
Yeah, but he's not like that, which is
But
crazy.
you have you got to play the game to change the game a little bit. But this is my personal opinion, and I got like frustrated with him from that point, and I was
feel
like, I really stopped like listening to his music, but I was like,
the chosen one.
exactly. That's how I felt. Yeah, I was just like, I felt like he was like Neo in the Matrix, and he just chose that blueprint.
Oh, he's definitely Neo in the Matrix because these bars are crazy.
But
Yeah.
he
'Cause now
chose. I
he's
feel like he
free. He's
chose
all-
the blue
he's
pill
all
to
independent.
me.
No, he's a great
Right,
rapper.
right.
But he on
Joe,
his
talk to the
Instagram.
mic, bro. I'm sorry.
Am I
what
on
you're
the
saying
mic?
is good. I just keep
Yeah, because
beating the seat
he's not he's on Instagram now, so he'll just be like sitting on his knees. He has a sword on his belt, and then he'll just jump up and just start doing like kendo,
Yeah.
and then like he sheaths the sword. I'm just like, yo,
Right.
like that's just crazy. I
Yeah,
don't know,
but
he
his
does a
his
lot.
dad was big into martial arts too. I'm pretty
I
like
think it was huge into Bruce Lee.
yeah, so that makes sense. That's like his background.
Adrian, I Go ahead.
No. I just said yeah in confirmation.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
I mean, I'm hearing you talk, and you talk about playing the game and like talking about thinking things in ways like a stock and all these other financial ways of thinking about things. Like, do you think that you apply that to your everyday life? Like, do you think about everything kind of like stock?
I wouldn't say that. I think of everything like equity or like having a value to it. Like, I feel like every little thing, even though it doesn't have to be monetary, has like a value to it. Like, I'm a big believer in social equity. Like, my mom, like, we didn't grow up with a lot, but she always like believed in me, and she always told me she loved me. And like, I felt like because she made me so rich in like love and passion and morals and empathy, that I had the chance to be rich in general.
Yeah,
you know?
it's something
Nice.
people don't really talk about a lot. But yeah, I mean, some people have no emotional intelligence. Some people have no social intelligence, and they usually don't. I don't know. They don't get very far. There was this dude that there was this dude. I forget what exactly he did, but he was charismatic and like he was good with people. And I think he helped create the atomic bomb, but like, so something crazy like that, something really destructive, but like people loved him just because he was so good with people.
Yeah, no, I definitely believe like every man, like at some point you're gonna have, whether it's on a small scale or a large scale, a point in your life where you're like, am I a creator? Like, do I like create things? Am I a builder or am I a destroyer? Like,
You
and
think you can only be one or the other?
I think most people lean towards one.
Like, it's spectrum.
It's spectrum.
One end is creator,
might
the
be-
other hand is destroyer.
You might be like 99, like one. Like, you could be like, to me, like, I'll think about something like Martin Luther King Jr., Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., like, obviously, like, creator of, like, a lot of, like, civil peace and obviously, like, some of the greatest, like, discourse on just how to be, like, a solid and decent human.
Would you
But,
think
like,
that he was
cheated on his wife.
Would you think
so.
that he was a destroyer though, because he, broke the system and like got a lot of, like
like
he like went against the system. He clashed with everything.
I
but in a
definitely think
peaceful
that's like a
manner.
fine line. I think that's kind of almost like an existential question.
Yeah.
Of
sometimes
like
you gotta
creating
destroy to create, right? Of
yeah,
course.
exactly. Like if you do like take something down, you're trying to build something back up.
I agree.
I mean, his approach was definitely different than Malcolm X's approach, right?
Yeah.
I think you could
Yeah, big
definitely
time,
see-
big time.
Polar differences.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
But he
Yeah.
changed his opinion later in his life, right?
Malcolm X did,
Yeah.
yeah, and then ironically that's
Became
when
Muslim?
he died.
But both of them did.
He died from radicalism.
So
Yeah.
also like real quick, just to draw like parallels, Black Panther type of thing.
yeah,
Like you got the Killmonger, like more Malcolm X, and then you have obviously like
T'Challa.
T'Challa, like more Martin Luther King Jr.
exactly.
Just to like draw parallels real quick for some people who might not like understand that.
Yeah,
It's actually a really good parallel.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
I
But
thought about that when I saw the movie.
Yeah,
right away I made that connection.
I think he's going to change though. He was like going to change, and that's why like he died.
yeah,
Like I think
100%.
the power of like Martin Luther King Jr. He was about to talk about like the power of the black dollar and how to like kind of have our own autonomy in our economic system.
Mhm.
And once he like even started talking about like the bottom line, I think they were like, yeah, he's not so happy go lucky. Now he's going to do something that can actually like harm like the white like
Well,
supremacy.
let me ask you
and then
this.
I think
as-
that's when he died.
As a financial professional, like what do you think makes a financial advisor professional? What do you think makes them a creator?
What do I think makes so there's 3 type of things I think that you can do. And this is behaviorally. I think like as being a financial advisor, you're more of a behavior coach than anything else. Like because spending and saving is not just like the actual money and monetary like systems. It's like actual like belief, a deeper belief in what you believe like holistically. Like, you know what I mean, as your person. So you can either create behavior, or you can like modify behavior, or you can maintain it. Those are really like only like the 3 things. So like when I look at someone's like finances, what they're doing, either do we need to create something with this person? Like, do we need to teach them how to save? Do they have no financial literacy? Do we need to either modify it? Oh, you do this good, but like let's tweak it out a little bit, or do like, oh wow, you're really good. Like let's just kind of maintain it.
Yeah.
So like that's how I think about it.
It's just assessing, pretty much. It's just assessing based off of the habits and behaviors.
Yeah,
But
it's
I
definitely-
want to just, I like the point you brought up, but I want to slip back just really briefly into the Martin Luther King thing. This is always how I saw that situation. I saw that like Martin Luther King was killed and then Malcolm X was killed because he started to revert back, right? He started to change his opinion. I think they were both killed because specifically of their desire for like the unification of white people and black people, because white supremacy or black supremacy is not as powerful as unification. That's the biggest threat ever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think the people that were opposing that saw that and were like, dude, we definitely can't have these people get along.
Yeah.
Because now we not only do we lose money, but they're going to come after us. And like
Yeah.
that was the whole reason that they were killed. You know what I'm saying? Because they made the discovery of love, of compassion, of compromise. Like I always saw it like that, you know? That's like the best kept secret. Like that's what they were fighting, like that's what they were working towards in the end, and that's why they got killed. Which is the craziest thing.
Like I said, and like I said when I came back from Germany, like that love, it reached. Like when I went to that church that still had, it was like war torn, and they had a plaque outside the church of Martin Luther King Jr. doing service there.
Wow.
Which is like, it was crazy because me and my buddies were just walking down this alley, and we just saw this church, and it was like, dude, what the hell? Like we saw the plaque and we're reading it, and I was like, what? And then 20 years before that, when he did his service there, the Nazis were using that as a lure trap, whereas a lot of people from the Jewish community were going to like service or church
Synagogue.
Synagogues,
yeah.
That's the word.
and they didn't know that the Nazis were on the upper decks having their guns drawn, and then they were sending the people there to Auschwitz and other concentration camps. So it was kind of crazy that 20 years after the war, Martin Luther King Jr. was spreading love and his message.
Yeah,
So that's a testament.
Something that's so interesting about him to me, and you just brought up that point, is like he was a doctor. Like he was educated. He didn't have to get involved with the struggle. Like it wasn't important for his own personal immediate progress.
Yeah.
It was important to the in progress of others, because he could have just been a doctor and have been successful on his own. Like he didn't have to get involved in the
Not
struggle.
like a PhD doctor, right?
Necessarily, yeah. He was educated. He had a good career. Like he had a chance to make money. Like he could have totally stayed in his lane. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not like he needed to fight the system to progress for himself, but like he saw that the value of women and minorities and all that stuff was something that he was willing to sacrifice his life for. At least like put his well-being on the line. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. He had like a lot of stuff going for him.
He did.
It's not like he was like a radical. It's like I have nothing to lose. Let's rebel against the system. Let's protest. You know?
Yeah.
That's something that always struck me about him. Is like he had a lot to lose, but he went anyways.
And he
man.
lost it all.
I think that's a lot of great people though. And like going back to like what I think like makes some of the kind of people who fought for civil rights and our rights in general like so great is that they saw their freedom being attached to like the collective's freedom. Like the reason Harriet Tubman went back to get like 1,000 more people and try to get more and more people is because she realized that without as many people being free, like she wasn't truly free. Without like the people you love being like able to enjoy the same things you can, like you're truly not free.
Yeah.
So
That's definitely the attribute of a personality type, I think, because I
being
think
selfless.
I think that's a rare response in humankind. I'd say most humans, in my opinion, you guys may have different outlooks, but tend to look out for themselves.
Yeah.
Like, I think it takes a special
Well, everyone
person
has
to-
self-interest. I mean, it'd be strange if you didn't. You know?
Yeah, but usually you're like, okay, my family's safe and I'm safe. That's as much as I can ask for.
It's usually
I'm
a
not gonna
box.
risk this. You
They
know
just
what
stay
I'm
in the
saying?
box.
Hey, I'm not gonna go back. Like, follow the drinking gourd. Like, you can do that on your own. Like, I'm not gonna go help with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it
That's
takes
someone else's problem.
It takes a
someone
special
else's
kind of
issue.
it takes someone a little crazy, honestly. It takes someone a little like not disillusioned with reality, but like I can go against the grain and I'll be all right. And it's
Someone
like
who
the
has
odds-
like a universal empathy.
right. It's someone who looks at overwhelming odds and is like, I can still make it, and that's a little bit of craziness. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I think that's a
it's
good crazy though. That's like
what I'm saying. It's a good
going back
crazy.
to what we said. That's like the creativity thing. Like
Right.
even like what's it called? What's the game like Minecraft and like Fortnite?
Yeah.
Like they've been playing like big on these like whole what is like difference between like creativity and survival and like kind of that like mold in
Can you
between
go
that.
into that? What do you mean?
So if you think about it,
Like, are you saying that creativity comes out of a need for survival?
I'm saying that they play like hand in hand and they actually like feed into each other and there's like an intersect that's like very much I feel like not like tapped into by like the normal person. Like, so what makes humans so special to me is that we have this dynamic to us, that we're not just like people who are just surviving. Like, it's cool. Like, we got water, we got clothes on our back, like we got shelter, we got all these things. And that like makes us like sustainable, makes us able to live long enough to like do what we're meant to do, like procreate from like a, I guess, a biological standpoint.
Exactly.
And then you have it like, you're like, you know what? Everything, like all of our needs are being met. Like, we're not cavemen anymore. Like, what can we create? Can
Right.
we love each other?
Right.
Like, can we like all get along?
Mhm.
Can we be happy? What do we need to do to progress ourselves beyond
Right.
just, we're already surviving.
Yeah,
all our needs are met.
We're not just content with survival. Like a mouse will be content with survival. Like if you just give a mouse like a food source and like a shoebox space area to run around, it'll never be disillusioned. Like it'll never be sad. Whereas humans, like it's almost like we have no satisfaction. Like we have to keep building. Like survival isn't enough. And you see this with animals that have higher brain capacities. So the only animal animal class that's been archived to be able to use a tool. The definition of a tool has been gorillas, chimpanzees. They take sticks and they put them in the hole of the anthill, and then they pull the stick out, and they see that the stick is full of ants, and they put it in their mouth and just like, and then they do it again. That's an animal using a tool. There's been like no other documentation of that, right? And that's because like, and that animal has a huge brain. You know what I'm saying? We have a brain that's very, very similar, and it's like that is. Since we're capable of more cognizant thinking, like that's our tool. That's our stick in the anthill is being like, yo, we have to make like buildings now. We have to make like businesses. We have to make something that progresses like the future. And what it's all leading to, in my opinion, and I'd love to hear your guys' take on it, is us going to the moon, colonizing other planets. Over thousands and thousands of years of increasing space travel, we're probably just going to go to like other worlds, man. I think that's where it's all leading to.
I'm with it.
Yeah. You're big on the Elon Musk train, huh?
That's the future, man, because, you know, if you think about the Earth and you think about space and you think about limited resource and you think about the sun, right? So they say that, like, the sun maybe has, like, a 5 billion year lifespan. Dude.
That fact always freaked me out. Like, I learned that fact, it was 6th grade. I was in science class, and our teacher told us that the sun only has a certain... it only has a certain amount of its lifespan. And I remember the first thing I thought was like, what happens to us when the sun goes out?
Right, but there will definitely be no us. Like
there won't be, but that was terrifying for me to think about.
Right, I mean,
I wonder how they do the math to figure that out.
I always think about that
Science.
too. I always think about that too, bro.
It's like 5 billion.
Right.
Yeah,
Seems about 5 billion. Looks a little dim today.
That's what I'm saying. It's not like you can go out to the sun, like measure it with like a tape measure. Like, how do they do that? You know,
They put like a what's the internal thermometer that you put in like turkey. You just
Right.
throw it to the sun, go like, what?
yeah,
5 billion.
But I always remember that a lot of these projections by scientists are estimates. Like, and that's how they frame it. They're like, we estimate that the lifespan of the
So
the sun.
what's gonna happen when they're like wrong and it turns out to be 100 years? Like, well,
yeah.
that'd
We
be
actually
rough.
have only 5 more seconds.
yeah.
Right. I mean, anytime you introduce a doomsday clock into a scenario, you think about life really differently.
Oh my God! Speaking of, do you remember the Mayan calendar? Do you remember that BS?
2012
that came out every year. Yeah,
People are.
I bought into that.
People are always gonna do that. Man.
Yeah.
The
I
funny
was
thing about
I was
2012,
ready to
dude.
go. 12th grade year.
Yeah,
that was
seriously.
crazy.
I was like, I'm gonna ball out because 2012 is over.
No,
Wanna
I
know
was
something
being
something
facetious.
funny
I
about
was
that?
Funny.
So like, I remember when in 2012, and I never believed it. Like, the magic of the world's just gonna end or whatever.
Uh-huh.
But like that day at the time they said it was gonna end, I remember it was like really quiet, like we're a little too quiet, and I was just like,
how's this gonna go down?
and I was like, everyone's still here, like we good? And because I was going to I think we were still in high school. I remember I was walking to like the baseball game, like just to see like what was going on, and then it was just like quiet. I was like,
walk, yeah.
it was a quiet walk, and I'm like, this is weird.
Yeah.
And I was like, I still made it past.
Like, what do you think would have happened? Like, would the Mayans rise? Like earthquake
would've
would
been-
happen, a Mayan temple would
Bro,
shoot
it
up.
would have been like the movie 2012. Like, remember that big tsunami wave comes and just starts wrecking stuff?
Yeah, and like hail
Was
the
it day,
size of
day after
minivans.
tomorrow?
Yeah, day after tomorrow. Just like New York City gets flooded. You
Uh-huh.
know? But I think that's such a human thing because for us, we always like, there has to be a beginning, there has to be an end. There's a beginning and end to everything. The world's going to end. and it's like it's gonna end at this year, or it's gonna end at that year. And there's so many civilizations that like they try and pinpoint when the world's gonna end because they want to have an end and beginning to everything, man. And like that's what happened with Y2K, and all those people quit their jobs and sold everything.
Oh
Just,
yeah,
like, stood up on the rooftops like, "Yep, it's gonna happen any day now."
However, if Elon Musk said, "Yeah, we got about 10 years left," I'd be like, "That man's on something."
But that
he,
guy,
he knows
that dude
something.
does everything.
That guy
Yeah,
also,
he knows something.
That guy also says that we're at a simulation, and I want to hear everyone's
Did you
opinion on that.
did you listen to his whole stance on that?
Yeah, and
on AI
I'm
and
gonna
that?
reiterate it. I'm gonna reiterate it.
Yeah.
And tell me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
So he said that based off Pong,
Mm-hmm.
the video game Pong,
Yep.
in the time that it took Pong to evolve into PlayStation 4 graphics. So in the time that it took video game graphics to evolve to what it is,
Yep.
was something around like 30, 40 years of computer
About 40
development.
years.
He's like, now, given the amount of time that took, like how fast technology progressed and how long this planet has been around, he was like, that was really, really, really fast in the lifespan of planet Earth, meaning that this has probably been done before. That's his guess. And he's like, if this has been done before, then how do we know that we're not in some advanced, super advanced computer video game that was developed maybe like 1,000 years ago?
Yeah.
He's like, we don't know for sure. He's like, because we can't really test reality like we want to test reality.
I just feel like if that were the case, I would use cheat codes. Like, where are my cheat codes? I wanna excel faster.
The computer technology is so.
I want to be
good that we
Kanye
can't
West.
decipher. His whole thing is like when you make something in a computer, like it's not self-aware, like it's just numbers and stuff. He's like, but if you think about artificial intelligence, he's like, you have the opportunity to make something that is self-aware. He's like, and he goes, if artificial intelligence has been developed before now, how do we know that we're not that artificial intelligence? It's a good point.
So am I real and you're all fake?
Well, that's what it is.
Or am I fake too?
This podcast?
I
got so
don't
out
know.
of control.
Kuna. You tell me.
But yeah, that's his stance, man. Like, I don't necessarily agree with that. I think it's a very intelligent thing to say. He also believes that like there's no intelligent aliens. You know what I'm saying? Elon Musk
Yeah.
believes some stuff that like
I
I'd be
can't
like,
believe
how do
that.
you know, bro? Like, I know you're super
They're out
smart,
there. They're
yeah,
watching right now.
and I trust you.
He
but
doesn't inhale, so I can't trust him that
Yeah.
much.
But Adrian and I, we have to say, my man Adrian has some friends that think the Earth is flat, man. Like, what's the reason they give for that, bro?
I think their reason is like you can't take what everyone says at face value.
Yeah.
And I feel like my friends are very much like free thinkers.
Right.
So I feel on the spectrum of being a free thinker.
But
Flat Earth is like right there.
Are they saying that just to challenge something, or do they actually believe it? Like a challenge of mindset, challenge a way of thinking, or do they actually believe the world is
That's
flat?
a good question.
I think it's almost like a combination. I think so much they want to challenge things and not go by like the status quo that they trick themselves into thinking that these things are real.
Yeah.
Like we have the biggest pyramid discussion too.
Pyramid? Like
Pyramid, like the
the
pyramids in
pyramids.
Egypt and
Okay.
like how and we piss so many people off
Oh, I
with these
bet.
discussions
Real
that we
quick,
have.
I want to dive into what they said about the pyramids, but the funniest thing Dave Chappelle says, like, some people believe the Earth is flat. He's like, if you get into a plane, he goes, and you fly around the world, he's like, you can land in the same place. He's like, you never see underneath it. He's like, why do people say this? It was so funny, man. You just gotta look up Dave Chappelle flat Earth, bro.
Oh,
he goes
man.
off. It's the funniest thing.
I
ever,
love his
man.
skit when he says about Ja Rule. That's so funny. Like when some controversial happens, he's like, you know what? Let's call Ja Rule. Let's see what Ja Rule thinks. He's like, nobody give a fuck what Ja Rule think. Oh, dude, that's so funny.
He's like, why is Ja Rule the person that we need to speak?
Yeah, dude.
What's up with the pyramids, though?
What is up?
They think extraterrestrials like helped humans.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, helped humans make it, and I could see it just because the
And that's like, is that what their gods were these aliens?
I guess that's like what they think. To me, I feel that like human ingenuity could definitely make it, like because you can use water power and like if you were just really smart with like the way you're doing your science, you could do everything they did. They were like just it's hard because we see where we are and we're just like, oh no, we're so advanced just because like
Yeah, but we don't
humans-
know.
Exactly.
I
got a
mean,
good
the
thing.
great Library of Alexandria back in ancient Greece, like that was burned to the ground. All that information, we don't even know what they knew.
And that's the whole point. I'm gonna slip one in right
Yeah,
before you say
go
it.
ahead.
Hold your point.
Go
It's
ahead.
just like, dude, people underestimate how much time people had to do this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, it took a lot of time. Also, like, you can't just write something down and be like, I'm gonna put it in my pocket. Like, the stuff they figured out back then,
So give me
they
my
had no way
give
of
my
recording
feather
it.
and parchment.
Right, they had no way of recording something like. So there's a lot of architectural techniques that have been lost to time that were achievable and people figured out, but they lost.
I know it's one of them for
Yeah,
me.
like, we're never able to give it to everyone.
One of them for me, which still baffles my mind to this day, is fucking statues. Think about this. Like, Olympian statues, right? That are in Greek, that are thousands of years old.
Yeah.
That they have cloth on them that resemble cloth, but it's in marble. You know what I'm saying? Does this make sense?
They have like
So,
flowing garbs, but
yes,
it's all made out of rock.
and it's made out of rock and marble. And I'm like, how'd you do this with a hammerstone and a pickaxe? Like, I don't understand how they did it. And I understand people's like, oh, well, the marble's like wet, and then they
It was
mold
the
it.
aliens, man.
I'm like, see,
that
and
alien
like when
technology.
Elon says like, or when people say like, when your friend said like aliens did the pyramids, in my mind, I'm like, that could make sense because that would have been a lot of people, and those pyramids, no way were going up in a year. It had to take a long time.
That's what I'm
If
saying.
we're talking manual labor,
Yeah.
like, bro,
Dude,
like look at the resources that they didn't have. They're in the middle of a desert. Where are they getting stones from? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's some things that I'm just like, and then I look at statues made of marble
bro, you have
with a perfect like loin
Okay,
cloth
but you
just
have to-
going
you have
across
to
them.
understand that like thousands of years ago, the topography of those areas were different than they are now.
But then when Elon says that simulation theory of that it used to be an advanced civilization that was lost or depleted, and then we just restart, like it doesn't sound that crazy to me.
I don't know, man.
You know what I mean?
I think that sounds crazy, bro. I think
Bro,
that,
think about it.
I think that I am thinking about it. I think that the whole explanation that this is a simulation is to try and downplay the harshness of our existence, like the reality of it.
But
Like,
Neo
this is
wasn't
all
the one.
computers.
the reality?
The reality of it is that you have one life and you're gonna die and you're gonna get old. Like that's the reality of it. So there's been a bunch of human people and philosophers that are trying to take away the harshness of that reality because it's a lot to deal with. And I think simulation theory is part of that. I'm not saying Elon Musk did that as a coping.
But like,
mechanism.
would you feel better to know that you were in a
Yes,
simulation?
because it's less consequence in eternity. It's just all a game. It's all a computer game. So it's just like, who cares, bro? It's all a game. But when you really think like, this is my life, I'm in control. Everything I do affects every other facet of existence. That's hard for you to accept.
Yeah, but then when you start,
But that's in a game too, right?
But then when you start thinking that, and you're walking down the street and you see dudes like with sunglasses on, just going like this, like, then you're like, what's going on here?
No, you're talking about like they're figuring it out.
Like the
What was
Matrix.
that? No,
Yes,
the
yeah,
Adjustment
he's
Bureau.
figuring it out.
You ever
He's
seen that
figuring it
movie
out.
with Matt
Agent
Damon, The
Smith.
Adjustment Bureau.
No.
That is a really good movie.
Okay, you guys gotta check that movie out.
Yeah,
This
I've
guy
heard of
beats
it.
a
I
girl.
haven't
You
seen
seen
it.
it?
I know I've heard of the movie. I haven't
All
seen
right,
it. I
Ryan,
have
have
to
you
see
seen it?
I have
I
never
gotta
heard
explain
of
the
it.
premise because
It's pretty much like simulation theory, kind
Yeah,
of.
this guy sees a girl on a bus on the way to work and he falls in love with her, and he's like, I'm gonna ask this girl out. Like, this is gonna be awesome. Everything's gonna be great. On his way to work the next day, he gets pulled into like this abandoned building by these dudes in suits, and they're like, look, man, we're the Adjustment Bureau. We control reality. You weren't supposed to meet this woman. He's like, I'm sorry.
Wow.
He's like, but I gotta go back and just like erase you ever meeting her.
Yeah.
And like he escapes and tries to like outdo
And
them.
then he's like going through like,
That's a
it
cool
turns
movie.
out he gets to this door, and then it's
Yeah.
like a giant, like, think of like Monsters Inc.
Yeah.
That's like the
Uh-huh.
best way to describe it. So he goes through a door, and you're in this giant like factory or like business place. Then you go through another door, and you're like in another part of the world.
Yeah.
Like,
It was really sick.
it's
man.
really crazy.
But yeah, that's what a lot
Then
of
he
people
gets
think.
the hat, and he starts like just opening doors all over the place.
We don't really know. My thing is that I don't downplay the significance of life as something that is like merely a game. You know, like
Yeah.
I try and take the most significance in my life and myself because I feel like that's the most prosperous way to live is to take what I'm doing at least a little bit seriously. Like not take myself so seriously, but be
Yeah.
like I gotta be serious with my time.
live
and
your
my
life,
intentions. And live your life.
Live
exactly.
it. Live it to your
You know,
fullest
it could
capacity.
be a video game, whatever, bro. Just enjoy it. That's what it's all
Just
about.
don't tell me.
It's 10. Should we be out or do we got a little more time? Let's go.
Oh, we got a little bit more time.
All right, let's hit it for another half an hour. Then
Should
we'll
we
close out.
should we talk about like I want to talk more about your financial advising and also your clothing line
Yeah.
because we haven't really gotten into either of those.
Yeah, we could talk about the clothing line too.
Okay,
just 'cause
start
that's
that.
exciting.
okay,
That's a little
so
bit
it's
less
Dylan.
nitty gritty.
Tell us like how that started and like what you plan to accomplish with it and the idea behind it.
Yeah, so I was definitely like the first adapter amongst like my friends that I wanted a clothing line. Like I always consider myself kind of like the mogul type of personality, and that I've always wanted to be a designer, creator, just do a bunch of different things well. So 2014, my friend and I, she went to FIT, I want to say, in New York City. I'm a bad friend.
Yeah, that's a design school, right?
Yeah,
I had a friend that went there.
Yeah, or like something like SVA. She went to like one of the good design schools in New York.
There was like, I'm pretty sure there's 2 major ones.
Yes, and I think she went to the other one that's like not
Okay.
FIT. But anyways, I digress. She helped me make like my first logo, and like we brought it to life, and I had all these like designs for like shirt, and I was like, yeah, this will be Sully Vision. But it was like 2014, and I was like, man, the NCAA will not allow me to profit off anything I make right now.
Wait, so because you were NCAA athlete, like if you tried to start your own clothing line, they wouldn't allow it?
Oh, absolutely not, because it would have been my likeness.
Wow.
I signed that piece of paper giving them over.
You signed a contract.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so
So that whole signing day, that's not just like a publicity thing.
oh no, that's like signing over like proprietary rights and like your copyrights and every little thing. People don't understand that. I tell people like
Even on the D3 level, I had to go through something like that.
it's crazy. I tell people I feel like if I would have put my mind to something else, like what if I would have been a millionaire if like I had the 4 extra years of just like, you know what I mean? Just to grind
but
something
I mean, football
out.
taught you things. Football taught you discipline,
absolutely.
hard work.
I don't think you're
Absolutely.
saying you regret football. You're just saying what if.
Yeah, because I'm thinking
Yeah,
about
fair
like the
enough.
other people. Like,
Okay.
what if you're a rapper and you can't put out any songs and you were supposed to put out a song that, you know what I mean? It just
Yeah.
could change your professional trajectory. That's just my take on it.
But you're done football now, and now you're onto this clothing line.
Yeah, it's like one of the things like on my agenda of like,
Right.
things that I have to achieve.
So what would you consider your style?
I really like streetwear. I'm wearing like something right now. Not everybody will be able to see it. Like
VWHI?
yeah, so it stands for Villains with Heroic Intentions,
Okay.
which is like part of like my sector. Like within like Sully Vision, like I have like my basic designs, which are like very they're like Green Lantern like inspired, and they're also like very like so it's crazy that drip is so big.
What
Like
is
right
drip?
like
Just
you,
the term.
the term drip.
Drip, yeah.
Because if you look at my clothes, like I've had the drip like going literally for like years
That
and
was
years.
the first John. The one that
Yeah,
came out.
that like the original one. I always felt like drips were like going to be like really big, and that's what I mean when I said like I had to sign that over, like, and I didn't put it out, but I still have
So
ideas
you
that
had
are,
all these ideas in your head, and you couldn't use any of
and
them.
I couldn't use any of them, like, so it's like definitely frustrating for like a creative, not just like, even though I play football, like obviously I was a creative person, still am. But yeah, so I have like Sully Vision clothing line, which is the big umbrella, but me and my friends like together, we call ourselves like the villains, and it's like a play on the word because like when you think about villains, a lot of times they usually have like heroic intentions. If you think about Magneto, he just had a different way of doing things.
Thanos.
Yeah, they think that
Like
things
an
should
ends justify the means mentality.
be correct.
Dirty Harry.
Like, and as like as black men, we feel like by not being statistics and wanting to like overcome oppression that we're villains.
Hell yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Really?
And I
I
think
feel that.
a lot of people could get behind that. And I'm just excited to like go forward with that. And we have like a lot of dope stuff coming. We have like spring and summer 1920 ready, as well as like fall winter 19 and 20 ready. Like there's so many designs that we have. And as far as like the villains, like once that came into like inception, my girlfriend helped me create the designs, bring it to life. She's awesome. Her name's Caitlin. She's great. Kate paints. Yep, she's also here. That's why I was making sure we shout her out. But yeah,
Very supportive.
yeah, and helped me like with this design. And there's just so many places like we could take it to, and I'm excited for it. Just 'cause I know it's going to be big one day.
You mentioned, villains with heroic intentions, and you said that you identified that as a black man. Are you more tiered towards black men, or is this a clothing line for everyone?
The clothing line's for everyone, but like specifically, like that's like a mantra that we had as like black men, and how without like sounding I don't know. I'm just gonna say it.
I don't think you're
say.
sounding exclusive. I just
Yeah,
think
I don't
you-
wanna sound
You were
super exclusive.
inspired by this feeling you have as a black man, and
Yeah.
that you created this whole clothing line just based on how you felt.
Yeah,
You know, I don't think
exactly.
there's anything wrong with that. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be just for black men, but it could be.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah,
it could
no,
be
I
what
think
you're
I think
targeting.
everyone should like want to rock this because I think everybody has their own right to be a villain in their own way. You know, the world is
To push against the mold.
the world is conceptualized to have the 1% rule the 99. Why be the 99% of people that don't achieve and do their dreams? Like, let's all be villains.
I like that.
Boom.
Let's all be villains. Oh my god, that's
like
awesome.
that.
That's
I like
cool,
that a
though,
lot.
'cause villains-
We should just name that episode that. Let's be villains.
That would be sick, man. I like that.
That would be cool.
Yeah. But villains is just like, you know, somebody is taking something. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It's taking something. It's not waiting. That's
Yeah.
what I.
Sometimes you gotta take it.
That's what I think.
It's
of when
not
I
gonna
hear
be
villain,
handed
man.
to you.
Yeah, it's like it's forceful, not like in a bad way. It's just like
No,
sometimes you got to knock the door down. You can't wait for it to be opened.
that's the truth,
Yep.
man. That's the truth. I'm
Like, for
serious.
real.
Like, especially when it comes to jobs, man. You just gotta be out there, or any opportunity, really. So I like that. I like it's a good message behind it. Is that a halo on your joint? Like,
Yeah,
I like that.
there's a halo over it, and it has like the pink with the gray like
Does
around
the pink mean anything?
it. No, we just feel like it's cool colors. Also, like we're all like big football players,
Okay.
and you would think to wear like more harsh colors, but like my boy Julian especially loves fluorescent colors,
Okay,
and like
so it's just a way
That's
of
the
you
wave, man.
expressing. Wait, do you think that's why a lot of like athletes, like famous athletes, are flashy like that? Because
I think
like,
so,
their
yeah.
uniforms have to be more bland, I guess, more or less, like more hard colors, and you see like this is more. I call it like in a good way. Like people think flamboyant is a bad word. I don't. I just think it means like
Yeah.
flashier.
Mhm,
you
yeah.
know?
I'm not sure about that. I feel like I'd have to like do a little bit more research on that.
Okay.
But I definitely think like big dudes, we like to get fly too. Like,
Right,
you
of
know what I
course,
mean?
of course,
Like,
and you're rocking it right now.
Yeah.
Big question for
for sure.
everybody. If you could dress as one professional athlete, who would you dress as?
Ooh.
I like the way LeBron dresses. Wow,
I was
that was
gonna say.
Yeah,
LeBron.
he's always
Yeah.
doing something new.
Even with the shorts that one time.
nah.
Yeah,
He I
The
thought he was
suit shorts.
That was
the
so
suit
funny,
shorts.
bro.
Yeah.
I thought he was kind of tripping with that, but like
That's the
You gotta
lie.
have a certain body.
Yeah,
type,
that's-
yo.
yeah.
You know,
LeBron's
you
like
fat with some suit shorts.
He broke
he's,
the
like,
wrong
he's a physical
mold.
specimen, so like you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Just-
Whatever he wears
that's
is gonna
real.
look good.
It's gonna look good.
It's
you know
all
what I mean?
yeah. It's to me like clothes is all about the fit. For me though, it's Conor, bro. Like I remember when Conor was wearing that cape one time, Conor McGregor, and I was like, bro, this is
What
the
a
cape
legend.
is extra.
Oh,
but I liked it.
yeah,
I
it
liked
was
it.
But he's
tough.
extra.
No, it wasn't.
Are you
It wasn't a
kidding me?
cape. It was a fur
The
jacket.
fur.
But he had it draped.
Oh, yeah,
He wasn't
yeah,
wearing
yeah.
it. He just had it draped
Tough.
over his shoulders.
Dude,
he
you
looked
look like a
Doflamingo
pimp.
from One Piece.
Oh
He looked
wow,
so
you're
cool.
He
right.
did look like
He looked so
Doflamingo.
cool.
Yeah, he did.
And I was like, dang, I wish I could dress like that, man.
Yeah.
You
If I was-
could.
If I was more
You
cut,
could.
I could, bro.
Yeah.
If I was more cut, definitely. But like,
yeah.
dog, I don't know. He's like my number. He's my number one as far as dress game. LeBron is good too, bro. LeBron's never really off point too much. What about you guys?
If I like an athlete, I would want to dress like.
Yeah,
Oh wow. Okay.
if there is any, or rapper, I'll make it that.
No. Let's
Well,
stick
for
with
me,
athlete.
I think not resembling right now, but I dress like a lot of because I'm huge into soccer
Mhm.
and I played soccer, so like I just whatever they wear, I usually just buy the same stuff. So it's very Eurocentric. What I buy, a lot of light jackets, hoodies, light wash pants, trainers
Saying you already
sometimes,
dress like your heroes, man.
something like that.
I
Sometimes
like-
you gotta,
I like
sometimes
how
you gotta
Neymar dresses.
resemble them.
You like how who?
Neymar. I like how.
Oh,
he dresses.
Neymar does have really
Neymar's
nice
got,
style.
He's got drip.
I feel
He's
like
got drip.
Drip.
the
He also
Brazilian
got
culture
tats.
in general, like they dress fly,
Yeah, they do,
Like-
man. They definitely do.
and Nigerians too.
Yeah,
like
was
I don't
gonna
know
say,
why. It's kind of
just
obscure.
African
but-
people in general, bro.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah, it's all colorful. All
I grew up
colorful.
Yeah,
Very colorful.
Nigerians get
Expressive
fly,
color.
I grew
bro.
up in a
Like
church
for
with a
real.
lot of Africans, man. They never did not come like dressed up, bro. Just like
I did,
Gotta show out.
game.
when
Gotta
I
show
when
out
I
every
did
time.
when I did the mission trip in Kenya in 2016, I ended up giving him money for it because I didn't want to just take it, but like this dude gave me like the cloth to make a shirt. I haven't actually made it into a shirt. Like I probably should.
Like a
honestly. It's
dashiki
just
shirt?
there. Yeah, I
Okay.
think so. Just like the colorful.
Mhm. Yeah, the
shirt, I don't
shiki.
know what
I got some
they're called.
dashikis. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have
so, like,
one.
fire.
I have the
I have
material. I should make into a shirt. I just haven't gotten around to it.
Mhm.
But
Is it
it's just
easy?
like what?
Is it easy? Like,
Well, I would have to take it to a tailor. I'm not gonna do it. It would look like a
I
5-year-old
thought
did
you were
if I
saying,
did
like,
it.
I'm gonna make it into a shirt in my own time.
Yeah.
Like,
Casual? No,
all right.
absolutely not.
He got it like that.
I gotta take it to the professional.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's cool. It's like I want to say like almost like crimsonish, but it also got yellow in it.
Yeah,
that's a Kenyan
different
colors.
colors. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I have this one that's like, it's like kind of Zimbabwean colors. It's like yellow and green, something like that.
Okay.
But it's so old. So old.
I love the episode of Fresh Prince where Will is trying to be Timothy De La Ghetto.
What? I don't think I've seen that episode.
Yeah.
Like, what is this? Like, what are you wearing? Oh my god, dude. That's
Classic.
hilarious, man.
Classic.
That's one of my favorite shows of all time.
Fresh Prince.
Fresh Prince.
Of all time. I'm like a Fresh
Yeah.
Prince historian. Like, the way you are about hip hop, that's how I am about Fresh Prince.
Yeah.
Watch it constantly, man.
That's how I am with movies and TV.
Do you know where they were shot?
It was definitely shot in Los Angeles. The Philadelphia scenes were even shot in Los Angeles too. Like,
Okay, that's what I was
yeah,
kind of
they
wondering.
Probably on
they
like
just took-
Studio B
they
or
took-
something.
Yeah, they took B-roll from the city, and they would cut to it, but they would never have him like in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Maybe for one episode when
Wow.
he went to go visit his mom, they might have shot like one scene there. But the intro, I think, with the basketball court was shot in Philadelphia, and that's just about it.
Okay.
But yeah, great show, man, phenomenal. And they were
Love
gonna
it.
have a comeback, and now they can't because of James Avery. But they were like gearing up for a remake.
Really, like a 20-year later?
Yeah, no,
reunion?
that was
Kinda like,
that was in the works.
Full House.
Yeah, but they were gonna do a cartoon event, and then they switched it back to live action. And James Avery passed away, so I don't think it's ever gonna happen.
Rest
True.
in peace,
Oh,
Uncle
wow.
Phil.
Yeah. But now
For real.
Will Smith is on that
He's the
higher
realest
plane.
father I ever knew.
Yeah, Will Smith is like the Instagram god now, dude. So it doesn't matter, and he brings on like just all these people.
It's
man.
crazy. He came back to Instagram, or came to Instagram in general,
And YouTube.
and just got
Just
right
killed it.
on it.
Just started
Just
killing
killed
Just, it's crazy how you can just not have a
Yeah,
following,
but he has a
but have a real life following. It's so much more important than just having
yeah,
something.
but he
that's
has
like
he has a
fad.
crew
That's
with
true.
him at all times, which is also crazy.
it. Now he does.
Yeah.
But when he just started, I don't think it was like that.
No, it was only him, but his videos now, even just Instagram,
Yeah.
heavily
Well,
edited.
yeah. Now it's like a TV show. But,
Yeah.
like when he first started, it was still pretty lit. Like,
Bro, and his wife is killing it on Facebook because she has that
Jada.
that show. Yes.
what show?
The
Um,
talk table.
yes, the Red
Talk
Table.
Red table. That's
they just talk about like mental health,
That's cool.
sex,
it's really
politics.
progressive.
It's
It's
it's hard to
progressive.
watch sometimes because she
was-
had August Alsina on there, who's a R&B singer, and he was talking about his like issues and like transgressions that he had with drugs and all this stuff, and I was like, dude, this is really raw.
It's pretty raw.
Like, and there's very few cuts, and they just like go.
yeah.
I'm like, this is really raw.
That stuff is heavy, man. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
it's
saying?
heavy.
I
heavy.
get in the mood for heavy stuff sometimes. I'll check it out.
I just
I'll-
I watched Kids this morning.
Kids?
Yeah, it's like my third time watching it. You remember Kids from 1995?
Oh.
The movie about in New York City, the teenagers having just sex, going to parties, all that during the AIDS epidemic.
That's what Mac Miller's. Rest in peace, Mac Miller.
Rest
real
in
quick.
peace. That's
That's
what
what
his
his
mixtape was about.
First mixtape was about.
Bro,
The Kids.
This is
Like,
news to me.
Bro,
And again,
Kids-
I wasn't really a Mac Miller fan. but
Kids was a
respect,
movie
obviously
that they used to
respect.
show in sex ed class. I remember my mom told me that
Yeah,
back when
it
she
was.
was like in
Huh.
like young. No, not young. No, my aunt would tell me that because my mom graduated high school in the 80s. My aunt was in the 90s. She said that she remember seeing the movie Kids in school because it's a really strong movie.
Yeah.
Like they open it up with like they're of age, but it's like a 17-year-old boy having sex with like a 13-year-old girl. It's like starts
Yeah.
really rough.
Wow.
Like yeah, it's really rough.
It's not comfortable.
In a movie.
That's how it
It is-
starts.
it
It's
is.
uncomfortable. It's like that on purpose, almost like a Lars von Trier movie,
Yikes, man.
but it's not.
For sex ed class?
Yeah,
Man, I
dude.
remember like we were watching like some Discovery Channel stuff, yo. Sex ed was so funny, bro.
I remember we saw like a pregnancy or something like that, like the birth of a child. I was like, ugh.
Exactly. Like as a kid, everyone's like, ew. It's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Well, you remember that
Gross.
remember that time in sex ed where they say the teacher says penis for the first time and everyone laughs for like 20 minutes. Yeah.
Bro, I remember
yeah.
the penis game like took over middle school and like early high school. It was stupid.
We can play right now. Penis.
I was very, very. I was
You got
very
it.
good at it, man. I was good at it.
Remember we used to nugget bags?
All right, so background. I gotta tell this whole entire story because this is actually a great story.
Dude,
Thank you for bringing this
I'm
up.
a legend.
So, bro, Sheldon and I went to middle school together. Sheldon and I went to high school together. We've known each other for a long time. And there's an epidemic when we were in high school called nuggeting. And what it was is somebody left their backpack unattended
During class.
during class
I
or
remember
lunchtime. And you would take that jar and you'd empty out all the books. You would turn the backpack inside out.
flip it over.
Dude, that was a phenomenon. That happened in
put
all
the
high
stuff
school.
back
Yeah,
Yeah,
in.
happened everywhere.
But yo,
We took it to the next
whole
step.
another level because
Oh,
we
God, they got
made
the
a
fingers
Facebook
up.
group called B&G.
was the Ben Salem Nugget Gang.
And what did we do to those nuggets?
Dude, we took pictures of them. We put on Facebook. But yo, we taped it up, bro. We used to take bags and tape them up.
Yo, and zip tie them.
We used to zip tie.
Zip
bro.
tie the freaking things
Yo.
on the inside.
Kids are just mean.
You
man.
kids are mean.
We
No, no,
were
no, 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 no.
I hope you
awful.
know.
It
in
got
general.
mean. I didn't do the mean stuff. The mean
Yeah.
stuff was like people would nugget someone's bag and then pour lunch into the
Oh,
bag.
I didn't do that.
What?
No,
And
yeah,
be-
that was
and
That's
doing
insane.
everybody's
Yeah, it got
notebooks.
wild.
I'm like, dog, I got nothing to do with that. But
Oh,
taping
yeah.
someone's backpack is hilarious.
The
Yeah, it's all
furthest I
good.
went was a zip tie, and then the kid was like, "I can't get my books out for my next class." And he was getting he was freaking out, and I'm like, "Oh, I
man.
feel bad."
Yeah.
Luckily, I had scissors in my bag, and I was like, "Yeah, let me cut
Just came
that."
through, helped them. But
Yeah.
the funny thing about the Ben Salem Nugget Gang Facebook group was that
I still have pictures on my
there were
Facebook.
pictures of the rule was you got to take a picture of the nugget to prove that you did it, and then it would the caption would always be like, "Got another one, boys," or just here's a fresh one coming in.
Fresh
bro.
one.
And we were like 16,
Wow, you were
15.
Yeah, we were-
You sound like a whole organization.
We were like first period
Yeah,
lunch,
meetings.
There was like
nuggeted.
30 people in this group. I'm telling
Jeez.
you, man. It
None
was-
better than organized high school crime. you know?
bro.
Yeah, right. That's basically what it was.
Remember that Facebook?
And if someone in the gang got nuggeted, we'd
Oh my
hunt
God,
down.
there would have to be a revenge nugget.
Dude,
there would be a revenge.
and it was bigger and badder
Yeah.
every single
Was
time.
there like another gang?
there
I think
kinda
it was. I
like,
think they were
people-
girls, weren't they?
Yeah,
Oh,
there
God,
was
can't
kind of
be trusted.
people. There's some girls that were like we were just having fun with and stuff. But yeah, there was also another thing on Facebook because Facebook was big back when we were in high school. Like Instagram was just
Oh, yeah.
starting
Oh yeah.
I don't think Instagram was there until senior year.
until senior year. But there was this page, and I'm not sure if you remember Sheldon. There was this guy. Sheldon's got the pictures. Yeah, these are old. That's my cousin right now with with a book bag tied up. Man. That was the thing.
Nuggets, man.
But
Nugget.
there was this also epidemic at our high school where
Oh, the double nugget.
yeah,
Wow, that's
Nah,
impressive.
we had some skills.
Dude,
We
we were-
double nugget
this
in
is
a
too
bag, put
funny.
it
Yeah,
inside out
yeah,
backpack, inside out backpack.
There
that on
he
your
is. There he
resume.
is, Drew, right there.
Yeah, wow.
And it says right there, B&G was here.
that's like 8 years
And you
ago.
guys had like tags. Oh yeah,
I know,
bro.
dude.
Yeah, we were corny,
Vicious.
but
You left evidence.
So cool.
there was somebody who made a Facebook page called Ben Salem Cookies, and they just added everybody. Do you remember this?
Ben
And,
Salem
It was
cookies.
Ben Salem High School Cookies. They sold the cookies in the cafeteria,
Mhm.
and it was this one dude. I remember he was just started flaming everybody.
Read that
like-
one. But what happened to do was flaming everybody.
Remember? It was like this anonymous dude that was just flaming people by name.
Oh,
They were
no,
they were
that's not what it was called. It was called Ben's Alum.
Ben's Alum.
Ben's Alum.
Bro, so somebody made a Facebook page like just
Burn.
to,
It was like a
just-
burn book.
just to flame people, and they'd be like, "Who's next?" And people would put names in.
Yeah,
and
You guys
they
ever
would
get flamed?
flame
Yo,
them on Facebook.
Our
flamed?
our high school. No, I didn't get flamed. Our
I
high
didn't
school
flame, man.
was literally like the ones in the movies where like the
That's
people were getting bullied online in class. Like, dude, it was wild.
It was pretty.
Mean
crazy.
Girls with Ben Salem.
Bro, it was nuts. I remember
Yeah,
when
it
I
was
remember
Mean
when
Girls,
that
that's how-
page came out, and people were like, it became like a district issue because they
Yeah.
were like, "Who's the administrator of this account?" No one knows to this day.
The school was looking for this person because that's how serious it was. Because kids were on their phones in class,
Still at large.
reading the roasts.
Yeah,
Reading
yeah,
the roasts.
and like kids were like self-inflicting harming themselves.
that was
like,
the first
wow.
cyberbullying thing like I've ever seen.
ever seen that. It was like on a movie scale.
Cyberbullying,
That was like
yeah.
a movie scale.
It
I
was,
was
it
like,
was that bad.
it
Bro,
was bad.
they-
Like on the news,
Whoever this
like
person was, they knew everything about everybody, man. Like they knew all the inner
Yeah.
politics, everything. man.
yeah, dude, it was nuts.
So it was
I still-
probably just
I
like
still
a
think-
creepy
no.
observer.
No, I still think it was
Like-
a
That's
teacher.
what- I think it was just.
I thought it was a
quiet-
teacher.
Quiet kid.
I thought it was a teacher.
No way.
It could
Yeah,
have
dude.
been.
No,
Teachers-
hold on.
it
Time out.
could've been.
Time out. Time out.
Don't mention any names.
I'm not
because I don't
mentioning
feel
names.
like going
We
into
had
this.
We had teachers that went to our school that were on the younger side, male and female, that were cool with everyone. I still think it was one of the teachers.
I guess.
That did
I
it.
think it
Could
was
be.
exactly what Adrian said. It was this quiet bull that nobody paid any attention to, that just was sitting in the cafeteria listening to everybody and just writing stuff down.
What
And
if
at
it
the
was
end of the
both
day-
though? What if it was a system? What if like
I do think it was a
This
system.
dude working together.
I do think it was a system too, because hey, some of those posts like they would come up two at one of like two different people,
Yeah.
and you'd be like, "This is crazy."
going off that? Do you guys remember Yik Yak at all?
Yeah.
Is that what
bro.
is that the Moose app? Like
That's
it
the
had-
one where
had-
like you could.
He
had
was
a-
like an
a
ox,
moose,
dog.
an
He
ox.
was not a
Yeah.
moose.
Is
Was
that
it a
still a
moose?
thing?
I feel like you're really good with animals.
Bro,
He loves
Was
his
it-
animals.
was it a
Reptile
moose?
business
I
started,
knew
bro.
it wasn't a moose, but I
You got a reptile
He's
business.
like, man, we got the moose app.
Wasn't it a moose?
It was
Yik
an
yak?
ox, dog.
Nah, it wasn't an ox.
Get it right.
Nah, it
Like
wasn't an
this.
ox. Nah,
Is
nah,
it-
you're
is
you're
Yik
playing
Yak a
me.
thing
You're playing
still,
me.
or is it done?
Oh, Yik Yak's been done, but Yik Yak used to be fire.
Dog.
Yeah,
Yik
because
Yak
like
was
it
like
connected
an-
you by university, right?
No.
Yeah.
It was anonymous tweeting, but it was area based.
Area
okay.
based.
Yeah.
It was that app, and there was this app called the Rotor.
Never
That
heard
was
that.
like, yeah.
That's not an ox.
I'm just like a crate
That's a
surfer in
bison.
general.
Isn't that a
you know,
bison?
It's a bison, but it's definitely not a moose. Like, let's be honest. I haven't seen that. In 8
If we're
years,
gonna be
bro.
real here, it's definitely
It's
not a
definitely
moose.
bison.
It's a bison.
Or a water buffalo.
There we go. We're getting somewhere.
These are.
I could have
don't
swore
know
it was
how
a
many
moose.
animals.
Were you a yik yacker, bro? Did you send out any yik yaks?
Yeah, like corny ones.
Right.
The football players there in 1300 come through, hang out with us, like stupid stuff. Like
Yeah, I remember Yik
Yeah,
Yak.
super
I
stuff.
think I had a Yik Yak. I'm
It
pretty
was-
sure I had a Yik
It was
Yak.
big in college, man. Like, it was that thing where you were just on it. And
That had to be early
especially
college
when
though,
you were in
right?
the Tech at Temple. Like, it would
Mhm.
just be, like, crazy.
That was early college though,
Oh,
right?
the tech was crazy. Like, but it actually, like, I would say it served a purpose. I remember this girl was like, I really want caramel macchiato, whatever it was from Starbucks, and somebody brought it to her.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
They better got on a date out of that.
I think so.
Hopefully.
I think that's worth it, but who knows?
Yeah, they were just a random do-gooder. But stuff like that would happen all the time. Like, or like, yo, somebody dropped a bomb in the bathroom. Like, just crazy stuff.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
And you're just like, what's up with Yik Yak right now, man?
But like, it could get deleted if enough people downloaded it, right? Pretty sure that was the rule.
I don't know about that.
I don't remember.
Like, you could upvote it or downvote it, and if it got
Oh,
too many
yes.
downvotes in a certain amount of time, it would just delete it.
And you can also
Okay.
see the upvotes because it would send it to the top of the feed.
Yes.
It would be feed like
Do
priority.
you guys remember Fling?
I think that was really cool.
Does anyone remember Fling?
No.
It was like, was it a dating app?
I don't know.
It sounds like a
one.
dating app.
I don't know if it's a dating
Like,
app.
it's just a
I might be saying the wrong name, but it had like the picture of the app was like a paper airplane. So what the point of the app was, it was like anonymous, like Snapchatting. So you would take a picture or whatever you're doing, and you just send it out and it go to random people throughout the world.
That's dangerous.
So people were doing it, and it was
Lot of
it was
dicks in that, I
cool.
bet.
Here's the thing. It was cool when it started because you can meet random people everywhere, and then you could like message back and forth, right? Yo, then I don't know what happened. I remember I think it was called, I forget what it was called. We'll call it Flint or something like that. I remember I'm in the middle of class and it says, you received a message. I open it out and I see some dude 6 to 12 o'clock, like just shafting. I'm like, yo! I was like, what the hell? And then more came. And then it was like girls, dudes, girls. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
So like, at what number you're like, I gotta delete this app?
Dude, I think I deleted it like either
me, it would be
after
two
class or the following weekend. Because I was like, yo.
If
I
I
was
get
like, I
two
gotta go.
pictures,
I
it's
gotta
over.
go.
Yo,
This is
yo,
not for me.
yo, when the first one came in, I was like, all right.
Sure is.
Yo, the first one came in, I was like, all right, homie sent it to the wrong person.
Right,
I ain't tripping.
Dude.
And then
Right.
girls were coming in, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? Then more dicks, and I was like, yo, this app gotta go.
Right, that's
And
like
it turned into like a sex app, and I'm like, yo, this is crazy.
That's what happened
Wait,
to Chad.
real quick, does anyone have any bad Dicture stories? We call them like dick pictures.
Dicture.
Dictures.
What of our own?
Yeah, like I
No, can't
remember,
say I do.
like I was lucky. Like I never got like you know.
I know.
what
I don't
mean?
really send dick pics. I don't know. I don't like. I don't get it.
I'll be honest on this podcast. I never have in my life, man.
Neither have I.
Yeah,
Good for
neither
you.
have I. I was definitely that. BBM got caught up one time, but it was never
I
bad.
always thought about that. I was just like, yo, like, who knows where this could end up? You know what I'm saying?
That's how I feel.
Yeah,
It's
bro,
like,
I'm not
it's
gonna
too
lie.
risky.
It's somewhere.
Apple's
it's on the
watching
cloud
me.
somewhere. Like
that's what I'm
14-year-old me, it's scary. It's
you-
definitely still there.
Do you know like a secondhand story though? If it went wrong for like a friend of yours or something?
So horror story. It's not like Dicture, but this
I got a horror story.
this kid, they got nudes from this one kid's sister, right? And they like sent it to him or whatever, and he didn't know it was, they sent it to the brother, and he
Oh,
didn't
God,
know
I don't
it
like where
know
this
it's
is
his
going.
sister.
I don't like where
And
this
I
is
guess he like, you know what I mean? He's
Yeah,
like,
I
oh,
know
it's
what
a
you mean.
naked picture. And then he
Jesus.
goes, why is that my bathroom upstairs? And like, it was this big thing. And this one kid in my like we're talking like
Okay.
child like bad.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I'm not going to go into it anymore.
I got a story. I don't know if you I
Yeah.
don't know if you remember this. No names.
I
No
do.
names.
I know what you're saying.
My girlfriend Natalia. This is way before you, so don't even worry about it. Freshman year in high school, right?
I'm telling you.
Because sometimes she listens, sometimes she doesn't. So you just got to cover all bases. Freshman year, right? I was talking to this girl, and we're sending pictures back and forth, right? So this is funny looking back at it. So, I show my one friend, whatever, And then 2 days later in school, said girl who sent me pictures comes up to me with her friend, it's kind of manly, reaming me out in the freshman cafeteria, right? And I'm sitting there, I'm eating the glorious cookies that Ben Salem provided. And and they're yelling at me, right? Everyone's looking. They're like, so why'd you send the nude picture to everyone in the school? And I'm like,
that to everyone in the school?
I didn't, ready? And I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
That's
They
legendary,
said,
dude.
you sent the picture, blah, 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 you sent the picture. They're like blaming that I sent the picture. Her mom got involved. They tried to get the police involved, right? So
I've
boom,
never heard of
hold
something
on,
like that.
boom, here comes my freaking boss-ass energy. I was like, check the picture. She's wearing different underwear. Different picture. Got out of it.
Was it your
Rock.
picture?
That means she sent it
No.
to somebody else.
That means she sent a different picture to someone else, like
see
in
what
the
I'm saying?
same pose.
Shout out my man.
You're
Dude,
the
it's a good
detective.
thing.
Skated that.
Because you were about to catch a kid.
Dude, because I was like, yo, it wasn't me. It's like, I didn't send it to anyone.
My man, dude.
Risky. That's super risky. Congrats.
So
man, for
risky.
life.
I was like 14.
Yeah.
And we were the same age. And I was like, I didn't do anything. Because when I went to the cafeteria and I was getting yelled at, and I was like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, dude.
I was so confused.
Tricky.
Yeah,
man,
that's
tricky.
that was bossed up.
You
Yeah,
gotta
it's
get the
totally
app
busted.
that has the password on it, bro. That's the lock app or whatever that is.
Yeah.
And just put
Nah, but I
everything
feel like that causes more problems. If you have anything that really needs to be locked that much, like it's just asking for trouble.
I don't even ask for them anymore.
Listen, man.
I'm too grown for that.
The lock app. That's what I'm gonna say, bro.
The lock
Yeah.
app.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like
It's a 4-digit pin. That's it.
quickly to segue into that. I feel like I don't know how you guys feel. We're at the age it's like I wouldn't want any of that like right now. Like,
Yeah,
dude, come on, what's a picture gonna do? I'm not 14 anymore.
It's
Yeah.
it's
Like,
totally cool when
what's
you're a
up?
kid. It's way more.
Yeah.
You're way more excited. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, and I
Oh,
don't
dude,
think, wait, I don't think
man.
girls realize that we don't like them anymore. Like,
I don't think
What?
it's
like, like on Twitter, you'll see like, all he said to my nude was cool. It's because that's all we are
When
going
there's
to
some, when there's
say.
some funny that you said that.
Women don't realize that
a couple months ago, I went through my Twitter and I unfollowed like every 18 plus account that I followed like in high school because I didn't know I still followed them.
Like Insta models?
No, like you know those like those like sex Twitters or like porn Twitters.
The ratchet
Yeah,
ones.
I unfollowed them all, and I was like, damn,
My
I
friend
forgot I
was
still
big into
followed
that.
these.
My friend
I was
Rain
like-
was big into that. Shout
Yeah.
out Rain.
But a beep.
Sorry to throw you under the bus like that.
I feel though, Adrian. That was definitely like a middle school, high school thing. 'Cause
Yeah,
it was
bro.
Definitely exciting.
No, but girls really think we still like a lot of my
Some
friends.
guys
are
do
girls.
though.
It don't
Some
do it
guys
no
do
more.
still like that stuff.
They don't do it.
Yeah.
I don't think it ever did it.
The dinosaurs.
I don't think I ever
I
got
call them
excited. I don't think I ever
dinosaurs, man.
got
Branch out.
excited over like
Yeah.
a nude, and I was like, ah, cool.
right?
Like,
But
where?
like, I don't know. It was
Wow,
just,
you're
it
so
was just
cool.
like,
It's got to
I don't
be
know, man.
it's got to be a gift or
You're
something.
so grown.
It's
Sean.
got they gotta
So
make
much
they gotta
shirt.
update it. You know what I mean?
Right.
You gotta move with the times.
Yeah, it needs
Like
to be
send me a new gift. What can you
Yeah.
do? Send me a joke or something. I'd rather.
Send me a new to your heart. That's what I really care about.
Oh, right.
And that is episode 46 of the ANDREWCAST
That's
podcast.
the perfect time.
I
to
was
do
like,
it.
that's perfect time. to end.
Oh man, we are at 10:30 though, so I think we should wrap up because
Alright,
I got work tomorrow and everything.
That was funny.
That's fun to place, but that was a funny joke.
That was good.
And Adrian, real quick, man, thank you for coming on the show, and you're definitely gonna come on again, especially like when Villains is back up and running. Like, I want you to just promote that. But right now, like, do you have like a website for Sully Vision and just stuff that you can promote to anybody that's listening, so that they know,
Instagram,
like,
Twitter, Facebook.
where to,
Yeah. So right now, biggest thing is I'm on Instagram. Adrian_Sullivan Jr. Follow me on Instagram just because it also leads to my YouTube, which is gonna be or is where the podcast is right now, and it's where you can get updates on me. Thank you for having me. Like I said,
Dude,
I
it
was so
awesome.
excited.
Dude, it was awesome to have you on, and you need to let us know when your website's up. You need to let us know when you have new clothing out. You need to let us know how this management and these seminars that you're doing are going to go. I don't even think we talked about the seminars. He's got to be trying to set up seminars to make people more financially literate. He wants to help like millennials become more financially literate, which is an awesome project.
It's a need.
And
It's a must.
you know, when
Must.
you get that underway and you get a few seminars, we definitely want to have you back to talk about that.
Yes,
That would be
please.
awesome. I can't wait.
that'd be sick.
Please.
So yeah, go check out Sully Vision and go check out Adrian's Instagram, and you'll get the YouTube channel, and just check out all the content. This guy's doing amazing stuff. Thank you again for coming on, man. It was awesome. This has been episode 46. We're signing out. See you next time. Yo, yo, yo. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to ANDREWCAST. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate your attention. Before we get into the content of today's episode, I definitely want to get into our sponsor that I've been so graciously gifted, Roast House Coffee, located in South Texas. Now, you may be saying, Andrew, I'm not a coffee person. You know, I like tea. I like drinking tea and honey and throw a little bit of milk in there. You know, I'm trying to live my life. Look, I understand you're trying to live your life, okay? I understand you may not be a coffee person. I wasn't either until I got me some Roast House coffee. Now, Roast House was gracious enough to send me Liquid Thunder. Liquid Thunder is a fan favorite in-house blend made by the Roast Coffee House. It combines the bold, smooth taste of dark roasted Colombian coffee beans with a subtle hint of chocolate to top it off. You can't beat it, bro. Let me tell you a little bit more about Roast House. The Roast House is not your ordinary coffee shop. They roast freshly imported coffee beans from all around the world, in-house daily. Located in Brownsville, home of the brave, putting work in the street like a slave, Texas. Our mission is to bring the taste of the world into South Texas, one bean at a time. From popular flavors to in-house blends, we serve all natural, preservative-free coffee, espressos, teas, and other beverages. Homie, come on into our shop and enjoy a fresh cup of joe or take some bean grounds home for your loved ones. So come get a fresh cup of joe or come take some beans to go. You heard it here first. Take some grounds home for your loved ones to enjoy. And for those not living in South Texas, don't fret. Don't even worry about it. We will be launching an online store soon for coffee lovers across the world. You too will be able to taste coffee done right. Listen, folks, if you want some coffee, you want some high-grade stuff, you don't want to mess around with the Starbucks, right? You don't want to mess around with the Dunkin' Donuts. You don't want to mess around with the Wawa. You don't want to mess around with the McDonald's coffee, all right? You want to go straight to the house, the Roast House. Baby, Roast House Coffee. Look it up online. Look it up on Instagram. It's the newest. It's the latest. Thank you so much for sponsoring my podcast. Everyone enjoy today's episode. Love you.